help from Tim?
Good evening, all. Welcome to Midweek Mixup, episode 12. With our fine gentlemen, the regular panel. We've actually got a full house panel today, so we have Patcher, Erwin, Shom, Boxenberger, and Broyr, and 4 special guests. So we've got a full house. We have the Iron Lords, King David, and Cognito. How you doing, brothers?
What's going on, man? I'm in a mix-up with Dutch and the Crow. What's up, man?
What's up? What's up?
Yeah, I almost messed up the mix-up.
You got mixed up?
I was mixed up. You should have saw me bleezing through traffic, like move, like I was the police. I wish I'd had my little blue light. I'd have put it on the top. Like,
don't put the fraud light up there.
I keep it here for the fraud, so I didn't have it. I should have had it with me.
Oh man, yo, salute, man.
Oh wow,
unbelievable! And also joined by Tim Dog and Italian Clowns. How you doing, guys?
What's up? What's going on, man? Happy to be here.
Sweet. Very good to have you. Very good to have you. I've got a special little clip for all 4 of you because this is what it is.
Exclusive world premiere.
Let's go.
I see you, Dutch. I see you.
So we'll get at the introductions before we start on the show. So first of all, we will start with our regular panel. So Patcher, how you doing today, brother? What you been up to?
Well, for now I'm doing pretty good. I'm pretty hyped to be on the show tonight. Earlier today I had my exam, as you guys know, few of you. I didn't pass the test. Again, 1 question too much wrong, but you know, we're gonna do it again and we're gonna get it. So, and yeah, basically been working the whole week, and yeah, that's about it, man.
Sweet, no problem, brother. You will pass it next time, man. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You'll get there. You'll smash that. Erwin, how are you doing today, brother? What you been up to?
I'm doing good. Finally doing a little bit better again after the ass whooping that we got on Saturday night with PUBG. For fuck's sake, man. We got owned.
Dutch English tournament and got absolutely wiped out.
Incredible, man. I thought that we were going to have a nice evening, but we got our ass kicked like normal. And we had the PUBG King with us, Patcher, but he didn't brought it, so we were quite fucked. So I know Shomberlon was pretty excited about it. So it's a good for him. But no, I really enjoyed meeting all the new people in the party chat, and we had some good laughs. We met some nice guys like Vincent, also from Rotterdam. So a couple of nice people that we met. So amazing times. And yeah, I've been good today. I've been working a lot at home lately because of all the new COVID rules, regulations that you have in the Netherlands. You see the numbers increasing. So our company decided that you have to work at home as much as possible. I can visit customers, but only if it's business critical. So times are changing in a bad way again. Yeah. But besides that, good, man. I'm good. I'm hyped, and super cool to see such famous people on the social media here. So pretty cool, guys.
Yeah. You're famous.
Hey.
Thank you.
He said famous people. I'm like, who? Tim Dog?
The legend.
At least you look famous, King David.
Thank you.
Shom, how are you doing today, brother? What you been up to?
I'm good. I've had a forced day off today, purely because it's Mid-Autumn Festival in China, and I do. I'm a English teacher, as in I teach English as a foreign language to Chinese students.
That's awesome.
So nobody's in because they're all off having their Mid-Autumn Festival. Holiday. Yeah, so I was having a day off really today. But yeah, had a good week. Erwin, what was the PUBG score? Can you remind me?
4-0.
Was it 4-0?
Oh,
I think it was 4-0, wasn't it?
4-0, yeah.
Oh my God, like somebody was on the winning side.
But the thing is, like, the good thing about it is because, like, Patchett is a beast at the game.
Yeah.
In comparison to me.
Normally,
he's an absolute monster. Normally, yeah.
I see that crispy PUBG hat. He about his business.
He is about his PUBG.
Yeah, that's good.
You had to earn that.
Yeah, he had to earn that. Well, there's a lot of blood was spilled before he got that.
Chicken winner chicken dinners. There they go. I love that game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I've had a good week. I think spurred on by the laws coming on here, I've had to jump back into Destiny. I don't know what I'm doing on it though, because the last time I played it was like probably within the year of it coming out.
Got you,
so you've got the expansions, and I'm kind of like, oh well, I'm kind of a bit lost now. And I thought I was doing well, and I'm like level 758. And I thought, oh, it's not bad. And I started a new character, and they all started at level 750. So I was like, all right, okay.
Don't you do it, though.
Right back at the bottom again. So yeah, I'll probably end up doing a bit of co-op with my brother with that, trying to get back into it. And what else have I done this week? Oh, I finished Tell Me Why, which is a good game. Really enjoyed that, actually. Really well told story.
Nice.
So yeah, it's pretty much been my day and week.
That's nice.
Sweet.
Let me ask you a question. Are you in China right now?
No, I'm in the I don't know if you understand this term, but arse end of nowhere in Scotland. I'm in the Scottish Highlands, yeah.
So you're in Scotland remotely teaching them the schoolwork, right?
Yeah. I spent a couple of weeks out in China last year. I was teaching in a university there, but then I had to come home for a family issue. So now I do it remotely now.
Utterly amazing. I salute you, sir. Utterly amazing.
But yeah, where I live now is. Did you play Forza 4?
Yes.
You know up in Scotland where the train track is, where the Harry Potter viaduct. That's what it is. That's the Harry Potter viaduct.
So that's my house.
I'm literally
the bar fight.
I am. It's like
he said, if you play Flight Simulator, my house is in Scotland in the back.
If you go 5 miles that way,
wow,
you'll be at the viaduct.
Oh wow!
Awesome.
Already?
That's awesome.
Yeah. So luckily, it's nice here because I'm away from COVID.
Nice.
There's only like 10,000 people in the area.
So if somebody get it, they can point them out and just drag them out.
Well, there's a hotel that's in lockdown because they was tested positive in a hotel.
Oh, wow.
But I live outside of the town.
Yeah.
I live about 5 miles out. No, not 5 miles. 2 miles. Sorry, outside of the actual town.
And
so I'm kind of extra safe.
Right?
So yeah, I'm good.
Cool.
Brilliant. Broyr, how are you doing today, brother? What you been up to?
I'm doing very well. I got a brilliant week this week at work. Instead of all the COVID stuff going on, we are doing amazing on in our I'm in the ID business, and that's instead of having troubles, we're going very hard. We're growing, and I've got a brilliant team that I'm working with, and good stuff coming for me in projects in 2021. I got some confirmations on that today, so
Nice.
stoked for it. Yeah, and I've been playing a lot of Apex Legends.
Nice.
I've got all of my achievements. I got some really good runs, and I'm stoked to do some extra this week again for this podcast with having these legends all in the podcast. I thought, okay, we have to do some extra. So today we dropped an additional bomb. So let's give away 12 months of Game Pass Ultimate.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Let's get it.
Let's go.
Let's get that free 99.
How can I get that? How can I add it up to my next 5 years that I got for free?
Yes.
On a side note of that one as well, we've also got Marion giving away a copy of Resident Evil 7 in the chat. So
Awesome.
There we go.
all you have to do is be active and be positive and interact with everybody, and you're in with a chance. That's it. Keep it simple.
Absolutely.
Next, Archimedes. How are you doing today, brother, with your broken foot?
It's not broken. It's not broken. Well, I spent, I don't know, the whole week every day at a different doctor, and they are still not sure if I need a surgery, but I've been using the other time to play some games. I finished the Avengers campaign. Loved that game. And still grinding along in the multiplayer right now, and then I started the Mafia remake. Absolutely fantastic. Highly recommended. It's incredible. And I also went back to Destiny 2.
Look at everybody.
Myself for the Beyond Light.
Yes. Come into the
bring it back home. Come on.
You gotta do
man. That Game Pass, man.
and you're making a ton of fire videos, I must say.
Yeah, use it as best.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My channel is performing really well at the moment. I'm really happy. It's seeing a constant growth. I'm getting a lot of positive feedback. Couldn't be happier about that.
Yeah, I put thumbs up. I really don't put comments because it has my name, so you know. But I'm watching you.
Thank you, sir.
Sweet. And first of our special guests, Italian Clowns. How are you doing, brother? What you been up to?
Pretty good, man. Thanks for having me on this panel. It's all awesome people here. It's star-studded cast. Awesome guest. I mean, all hail the king. He's collecting knees today, right?
Yes,
I
I've been collecting these for about a month.
Yeah, I smell those PS5s at his house already. It's just whipping off over here.
I wish you can smell those PS5s in my house. I don't think they're going to be here until 2021. I'm just saying.
Here we go.
I mean, other than that, I've been up to trying to get myself a Series X, but a 3-month-old baby beat me to it. Apparently, it's allowed to sit in line and hold a spot for somebody that's not there. That's what the GameStop manager said. So,
I heard about that with you, and I was like, man, you're such a great dude, because I took my jewelry off and was going to break somebody's jaw. And I'm a fighter, 100%. And I passed my jewelry off, and it was definitely about to happen. Then I heard your story. I was like, oh man, Clowns is so nice, but you got a license to carry, state, man. I would have just pulled out on him, man, and stood my ground, man.
King, I will say this, you know the pinky rings that we got? I went back with my dad's old school pinky ring. I made sure that it was stunning in his eye with the sunlight, and he stayed away from me after that.
Hey, but I heard Tim ordered 10, right? So you can have a spare one, right?
I got 2.
Tim's doing the unboxing.
I got lucky.
Tim, they mailed Tim his. Tim
already got his. Stuff out.
As a signed one. I think a signed one from the team.
I know, right? By Bethesda, by the whole team at Bethesda.
That brings us nicely to our next guest then. Xcloud Tim Dog, how you doing today, brother? What you been up to?
Good. Awesome intro. Awesome show. Really think the idea is great and pretty crazy. I got 8 guys in here, all Xbox guys, big people in the community. Just happy to be here. Honored to be on your podcast, and good luck with it. It's definitely a good idea, and I've seen your post for a long time on Twitter, and always been great. So I think this is going to be a great thing for you.
No, thank you very much, brother. It's an honor to have you on as well. Especially, I know you've got a very busy schedule.
Yeah, well, it never ends, and
yeah,
it never ends.
That's
true.
I know. But no, thank you very much for coming on, brother. What you been up to? You been had a chance to play any games or anything like that this week? Or
yeah, well, I yesterday they're not taking pre-orders, so I returned actually a PS4 Pro and 3 Xbox One X's. So I got I don't know how much. I got enough to buy an Xbox Series X, and then I put my I had my Cyberpunk console, so I put that together, put it in and played on that. I played some Crisis Remastered. I would really say that game is horrible. Don't get it.
Really?
I kind of just. I played that game when it came out on PC, and I loved it then, but it just feels wonky. Yep. The graphics are just a little different, but they're not better than what they were. So I played that, and then I played some Madden, then I played some NBA 2K21. And that's what I've been playing. I've been playing a lot of sports games. I bought Tony Hawk, and I bought Mafia last
awesome.
night.
I'm so hooked on that.
Yeah, well, I remember playing the original, and it's a remake of that, which I'm hearing. And I put 25, 30 hours into the game easily.
Nice.
That's one thing I need to pick up actually is Tony Hawk again. But I'm not going to be able to get the same scores I used to as a youngin.
What's the matter? Your fingers are slow.
Moves of grinding.
I've broken too many fingers over the years now. They won't work when the error is quick. And first of the Lords, we will go to King. King, how are you doing today, brother? It's an honor to have you on. How are you doing?
Oh man, I'm so happy to be here amongst all these great people. I love the beards, the ones that are here. It's different level of beards, right? It's like, yeah, baby. I'm loving this. This week, what I've been playing, I've been definitely playing Destiny. Shout out to Dealer. I told you I had faith. I was holding on. Phil Dominus Maximus Aurelius Spencer has delivered Doom Eternal to me for free. So it's in Game Pass, and being that I'm Captain Game Pass, I downloaded it before I went jogging, so I will be upstairs after this playing that. I played Warhammer. A Warhammer 2, and they just dropped that in Game Pass day and date. Game Pass keeps telling me exactly why I should never buy another game. And Resident Evil. I picked up. I have Resident Evil on my PlayStation Pro, 4 Pro, and I was doing it for the VR headset. I stopped playing it because it was utterly the most horrifying game in the world. And then it came to Game Pass, and then I said, you know what? They had it for $19.99 with all the DLC. And then you had your little deal because you're in Game Pass. I said, let me get it with all the DLC. It is still absolutely the most horrifying game without the VR. And I think why it scares the hell out of me is because whenever I go to rural places, I believe this can happen. The zombie part doesn't the zombies don't scare me because I'm that's a real 10% chance in the world. But
the crazy hillbilly family can.
Crazy hillbillies kidnapping you. That's a possibility. I mean,
that's some horror you can relate to.
You know what I'm saying? Because he's like, hey, boy, don't run from me. You can run from me. I'm scared out of my, oh my God, absolutely horrible game. And then I'm squeezing in between the walls. The game is so scary to me. And I'm forcing myself to play. And my daughter's inside the kitchen, right? And I'm in the living room. She hears me yelling, ah! And she peeks her head around the corner like, why is Daddy screaming? And I'm like, this game. I totally forgot about these scary things. But I'm really loving that. And then my liquid crack is Neon Abyss. And I'm waiting for Hades to show up inside Game Pass. I will never purchase that game until it shows up in Game Pass, these roguelike games. But Neon Abyss has taken over what was that game? Something that Sovereign was going on about.
Dead Cells?
Dead Cells.
Dead Cells.
Right. It took over my Dead Cells addiction. And Neon Abyss keeps me up all the way into the wee hours of the morning. And it's like you can have a trail of these little your little bots flying with you. You can have all the weapons in the world and just get owned really quickly. You walk in one room with one messed up game plan and you're just like, no. And you start all over with nothing. So yeah, I'm totally addicted to that game, and that game is my liquid crack. Yeah, that's how I'm doing.
Nice.
Sweet. And last but not least, one of the main lords himself, one of the co-founders of the Iron Lords podcast, Lord Cognito. How are you doing today, brother? What you been up to?
Dutch, man, it's a pleasure, man. Obviously, we know each other for a little bit, and salute to you with the consoles and everything. I remember all the stuff you used to do, some really cool stuff. But yeah, I'm glad to be here, man. I've been traveling a bit and a lot of other personal stuff going on, so not much gaming at home. But it's actually been really kind of fun to actually do a podcast in a while. But I've actually been doing a lot of Xcloud, a ton of it. That's
what happens when you travel.
Yeah, man, I've been doing a ton of it. So I've been hitting my backlog. I've been actually hitting up Outer Worlds again. I've been really digging back, especially with the DLC, was it Peril of the Gongar and stuff like that. But
wait, let me ask you a question. How the hell did you get to that part? Because I paid for that DLC. I'm really pissed off right about now. I'm at the end of the damn game. Were you at the end of the game when you started your DLC?
I'm like 3/4 of the way because I'm waiting for the quest line. It does say it has it installed, but I'm waiting for the quest line to pop up. But from my understanding,
it's complicated. Because you need one save file before the final mission starts. You know, there's at some point this mission where it says, okay, there's no point of turning back from here. And you have to have a save file from before that point. You can start the DLC. It is
that is the worst implemented DLCs. Because my stupid behind is at the damn boss. I finished it. I'm at the end of the game. No. So I said, okay, I did it. And then I'm like, okay, let me start my DLC. And then it was like, no, you started from the beginning. And I'm like, no, Microsoft, do not play with me.
No, that is very true. That is very true. One thing about Outer Worlds is you have to save often, because I made silly mistakes like that. Because going from Xcloud to then console, all my stuff transferred, because they got cloud saves. We'll get into that tough subject. I know at one point with other systems, but at the end of the day, like it was going back and forth. But the thing is, you got to be cognizant that whenever you do something of importance, always use a manual save. So this way you have those timestamps, and then that's where you can go back. But yeah, man, I'm having a good time with that. And just a little bit of Destiny, but not too much. But that's been pretty much it. I'm hyped for these new consoles, man. Series X along the way. I mean, it's a month away, y'all. I cannot wait to get my hand on that Series X. Yeah.
It'll be there before you know it.
I know, brother. Can't wait, man. I need the tower.
Yeah.
I mean, much like yourselves, I've got all three on pre-order, so I'm interested to see what they can all do.
Yes.
Unfortunately, problem with PS5 though is that there's literally not much coming for it at the start, and the backwards compatible stuff is just an absolute nightmare.
It's funny you said that, Dutch, because I'm having the same issue. I was talking to people on Twitter, and it's like, no disrespect to Miles and everything like that, but but outside of that, there really wasn't anything for me per se. So what I've been doing is I've been looking at like kind of cross-platform games that I didn't pick up, and to see how it would be on PlayStation 5.
Well, you know what you should do, right? You should wait until a system actually launches in 2021, and then you can actually get the game. Because,
right.
It is.
Or you could look on eBay for King and Eyes, early edition.
I'm telling them $3K each, but I thought, Sony actually put a hole in my plans because I planned on getting 10 of them, and I planned on buying a new Escalade because I was going to put them.
It's the Escalade money. Okay,
this was my Escalade purchase. So
I got you now.
I planned on putting them on eBay for $3K each, right? You know, in hand. I did that with the past generation with the PlayStation 4 and the Scorpio, and I was giving games and headsets and nice stuff, a nice little package. Well, now, no, you just get the console and you just go ahead, you buy your own mouse and all whatever you're gonna do. But from what I'm hearing, I probably won't even get the 4 that I got pre-ordered. So it is what it is.
I feel you, man. I feel you. But yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like I said, I just want some stuff to play. Hopefully, maybe some other things get announced. Because again, I'm not a Demon Souls guy either, so it's kind of tough for me at launch right now.
What did you think about the gameplay trailer that they showed off yesterday from Spider-Man with the amazing ray tracing?
We get into it. Oh man,
we know what King thinks of it.
We know what King thinks. I'll be quick. I'll let you know first. I personally didn't have a problem with the face choice because I'm the movie guy. So I'm like, oh, that's Tom Holland. So I already know what they're doing. So for me, I understand it. But I know for the diehards, the hardcore that play that game through and through. Shout out to King. Shout out to Kaibatsu. Their issue, I know specifically Kai, is with the facial expressions, right? So from my understanding, like he really emoted well the original character and the actor and stuff like that. So I know for some, this is a big issue. And then obviously, you know, we got to find the whole confusion with the saves, you know, what comes, what doesn't come, that whole bit. But, you know, I thought it was okay. But I'll leave it up to King and the rest of you guys if you have some different opinions on Tom Holland.
It's probably Tom Holland is his stunt double because they don't want to pay him the royalties.
Thank you.
It's just like, we'll get the stunt double in, it'll be cheaper, it'll be fine.
Yeah,
he looks just a tad bit off. Like Todd Holland-ish. Like this is Tid Holland. Like when I saw it, I said, that's not my Peter Parker. Like, what the hell just happened here? And then I said, the facial animations, where the hell? And then I noticed stuff missing in the background. And then I said, yo, why does the PlayStation 4 Pro look better than the PlayStation 5? I said, why they can't do hair? Did you look at his hair compared to the hair on the other Peter Parker? And I said, okay, I said, this is it. This is the BS right here. I said, they are actually showing how weak the system is. And then I saw this system, I saw the gameplay of actual Spider-Man. So I said, wait a second, is my eyes bugging? Like, you
went out wowed.
I said, yo, it looks the same exact thing. And then I said, what happened to the SSD with the loading in the background? Why stuff is still popping up? I said, oh my God. I said, yo, this is a hot mess. I said, this is an actual hot mess. I said, from the standpoint, it's a hot mess because I say this, right? These PlayStation fans, these stans, these ponies, these dudes, these TCL lovers, I just realized that they are actually seeing what the Xbox One X does to games. And they're
catching up is what you
right?
say.
So they're like, oh my God, it's incredible. I'm like, shut up. We've been doing that for free for years. Shut up. They're like, oh, it's 60 frames per second. Okay, you went from 30 frames to 60 frames because it was uncapped, right? Now, and it looks a little bit smoother, looks a little bit clearer. And I said, wow, this is what happens when your checkerboard rendering is a little bit better. This is what happens when you have a little bit more horsepower and you're able to do 60 frames per second now. This is what happens when you actually catch up to the Xbox One X that's still in the market right now. So, why do they have to pay for that again? I mean, I just think, are they paying for the Tim Holland's face? This is all I just want to know. Because that's the only thing that I saw different in the game was Tim Holland's face. And I can't call him Tom Holland because he's not. He's
Tim.
undoubtedly.
Shout out to Tim.
Tim putting in that work. So after seeing it, I said, well, I was absolutely not blown away. I was not enthusiastic in purchase. I wasn't purchasing it anyway. I was going to get the Miles Morales DLC that I told him that was DLC, that it was going to be on the PlayStation 4 anyway.
Yep.
So I'm going to get that. And from what I hear is that's the only save that goes over because that was the only thing that was made from the ground up, the save, right? Like, so the fact that you were able to save the DLC only portion, and you can bring that over if you're playing on the PlayStation 4 to your PlayStation 5, that's the only thing that is transferable. And I don't understand why there's not any blood in the streets and people are screaming.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't get it.
It's one of the things I've noticed as well. I can't understand how hard it is to just allow saves on cross-platform. How have they not got to the bottom of that? And it's not one. It's not one company.
But
it's not one company. It's every company.
Now that's something. If you look at what Microsoft is doing, they have been investing this for years. They are 10 steps ahead. They knew that these things cross generation will be.
I gotta go to the doctor.
Super important, but they will be.
Tim, you're not muted. You got to hit 2 mutes. You got to hit the mute on your mic and the mute on the screen.
We try to save Tim out here.
Don't want to hear none of that stuff.
I got it. Sorry, guys.
We got you.
But as I was saying, so Microsoft is 10 steps ahead. They know this was coming, and I think Sony is just they're catching up, and they just don't have the tech ready yet, or they're going to be knocking at the door at Microsoft and asking them to purchase some Azure services and asking them, how do we do this? Yeah. I think really they need to do some catching up. I think what they do with the graphics and with the whole console thing, they will manage to sell a lot of things. They will manage to push that 60 frames per second and get some nice visuals. But the tech behind it, those things like back compat and saves cross-generational, that's where they will, they have gaps there.
Yeah, it's a very good point. And Microsoft laid the groundwork for that years ago when they started to unify the whole system. And this is what is now the fruit of it, because wasn't easy to do that in the background all the time. But they started that with their cloud system, with the unified platform across all the devices, cross saves in between PC and consoles, and now this is the result. Yeah, they have the tech ready.
Yeah, well, I remember when Xbox came out with backwards compatibility, and everyone was like, well, people who were against it were like, who wants to play all games? You know, this is because you have no games. Jim Ryan said the same thing. I don't think people want to play all games. But, you know, you're talking about 2015, Xbox has been working on this, and they've been doing it in a different way. They've been doing it through software emulation instead of hardware emulation. That what you're getting with Sony, and they basically been through the rigors with this. They know what goes on, and and you're seeing that, and that's why I think you're seeing Sony not talk about this, which is annoying me because listen, I don't have many PS4 games, and I understand that it's not backwards compatibility for me. But as a consumer who wants to buy your console, please tell me what you're gonna have and what you're gonna what you're gonna do, because it's just fair to people. There's people that have 500, 800 games. Now, if I'm in that ecosystem like I am with Xbox, now I have 1,000 Xbox games. No joke. 1,000 Xbox games through purchasing and through Game Pass, through EA Play, through Xbox Gold. I have 1,000 games. Now, if you're going to tell me that there is no enhancements or there's very few enhancements and that, only a select few are going to be paid, playable, that's going to influence me. That's going to either annoy me or it's going to make me think, what's going on. But for the whole thing, like, these are the questions that we have. How many games are you going to have at launch? What's going to be enhanced? Are you going to be doubling frame rates and doing the same thing Xbox is doing? Are you going to be adding certain things, system level things that are always there, like auto HDR, 16AF, AF, filtering? That type of stuff. Are you gonna have it? Just be open about it. If you're gonna have 500 games and you're gonna keep adding to it, I think people can live with that. But just kind of like open up and talk about it.
Yeah, the transparency is completely lacking right now on the Sony side, and this is what was so good at the from the messaging by Microsoft right now, that they address basically all the questions gamers have, and they have been doing that for years now, trying to be honest, and they get a lot of crap for it, because whenever they are honest, people start talking shit about it. The best example I used also in my video about this is a few months ago, Microsoft came out and said, well, they will support the current generation for 1 or 2 years, and then they got a lot of shit for that. And a few months later, Sony is stealth dropping that news right after their event somehow, and now nobody is talking about this shit anymore.
Up to 3 years even, huh?
Yeah, exactly. They want to do it for 3 or 4 years, and this is. It's just a different. It's a good example for the difference in how transparent the one company is and the other.
No, you're making a good point, Archimedes, and also want to double down on what Tim said, because Tim, I heard you on RDX, and you made a good point, and I think the lack of transparency is telling, because the way I look at it, as much as they're going through a tough period right now, I know Sony from a marketing standpoint, they're generally pretty good. They're generally pretty spot on. The issue I notice is that I feel that anything that they may perceive themselves to be weaker in, they're not giving information. Whereas on the flip side, you notice Microsoft is extremely aggressive whenever now they sense a weakness, and whenever they sense something that they know, for example, cloud slaves, things like that. Now the stuff that's coming out, from the developers that did Dirt, they're saying, hey, we don't know about the PlayStation 5 version. From the developers that did Yakuza Like a Dragon, they're like, hey, we can confirm the Xbox one is you're gonna have your saves, but you don't have this. So it's again, and if you notice the message, shout out to Greenberg, shout out to the team, like they're on it. They're like, hey, the Xbox generation, we believe it. Like they're sending shots, they're sending subliminals.
Like, you know, it's the difference, and everybody keeps looking over. Y'all keep blowing past the obvious signs. It's not the same Sony.
Oh, we talked about that.
Man, we talked about it, but we didn't talk about it here. It's not the same Sony.
Right.
It's not the same dudes in charge. Right. Everybody keeps waiting for him to be the same old champ. You ever know when the champ gets old? He's in the ring and you waiting for him to do that side step, left hook, body head. When Mike Tyson got old and he got knocked out, y'all was like, oh no, Mike. He's not Mike anymore. He had a whole different trainer. He's only got a different trainer, man.
Is that no more Customato over there?
No, there's no more young Mike. There's nobody putting him through his paces. He got young. He got old. He got arrogant. He got fat. Sony got old, arrogant, and fat. And they're taking their people for granted. All right, so they're telling you a PlayStation 5 is coming out, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna buy it with
no information. That part I agree with you.
What's the most you've seen? A controller. Right?
Yeah, it's not even out in the wild. They don't even want to show the box in people's hands.
Because they don't have any, Tim.
Right.
They don't have
they don't want to show the size of it.
They don't want to show, because the thing is, I agree with you, Tim, because to me, what Xbox is doing so well, the ultimate transparency to me is when you give your entire console to Digital Foundry and say, have at it. You give it to the top influencers, have at it. Check out the backup. That's the utmost sign and confidence in the tech. When you are not doing, we're less almost a month out, and no one physically that we know that is reputable, as an unbiased entity has the PlayStation 5.
There's no one.
That is
biased entity or unbiased entity has one. No one. Zero.
Right. The thing about it too is
Brad Sams.
Yeah, Travis Scott has one. What are you talking about?
Listen.
The controller.
Tim, Travis Scott has a controller. they have been passing this controller around like a $2 whore. The whole everybody has had this controller, and they blow into her all the time.
Oh my God!
Is it the one that Geoff Keighley sucked?
Oh my God! Looking at this controller.
Don't encourage him, Forza. Don't encourage him.
Listen, make sure you wipe down your controllers. They're passing this controller around.
Make sure the plastic's on. Make sure the plastic's on.
You got to put the rubber on top of the. You have not seen the console. Listen, this is my theory, right? And there's nobody everybody in my DMs on this. Everybody leaves me alone on this, right? And I stand on this island and I don't give a hell. All right, there's no console.
Oh Lord.
Okay, maybe they have a couple, and I think they probably overheated, and they're trying
using the testing. You tested the SoC.
They're trying to figure out how to get this beast under control. Because it's the variable, and when they're doing these things, these clock rates and this stuff like that has a very unstable machine. And I know it sounds like I'm joking most of the time, but I just want you to use a little bit of common sense going into this, right? That SSD is the fastest SSD ever made because there's no more but that one, right?
I thought it was only the SSD.
Yeah, they got the flash, all right? So they put the flash in the SSD, and he's unstable. He's crazy, right? You have the GPU, which is unstable. He's crazy, right? You got the CPU, which is unstable. He's crazy, right? And then you have the most craziest tech when it comes to heating and cooling, the heat sink, liquid metals. So they got the T2 in there. So the T2 is in there trying to control these crazy dudes. And we have not seen no hair of a fan. What happens when that little baby gets hot? And it's not little because we already know it's big.
It's huge.
I think they're getting red rings of death. That's why they haven't shipped them out to people to do their breakdowns and their texts and their talkabouts, because I think they're having trouble with the machine. That's why you haven't seen any user interface. That's why you're seeing games running off of dev kits, because, and I will stand on this, a dev kit is the approximation of what the console would be. So when they say it's running off a PlayStation 5, this is what your PlayStation 5 should be. We heard about that stuff before. But the reason why I believe, and this is only me, they're having true performance issues with this box. And if they don't delay it until next year, until they can get that under control, they're going to run the risk of having a red ring of death situation. I do not believe they have $2 billion to cover up that mistake like Microsoft did. I believe instead of shipping just to say that you shipped in order to be with the competition, because you only have to make a bad impression one time. Wait until next year, have a stronger lineup. You already got everybody's pre-orders.
They got the money already, bro.
They already took their money. My money's gone. Right? And I'm not taking my money back again. No. So you're going to give me my console whenever it shows up. So, and I'm in the boat. I got 4 of them. Just wait till next year. Do it right. Don't give me a box that's overheating. If you got to make it a little bit wider, if you got to put some more fans inside, whatever
wider, you're going to need to open that door up a bit.
It don't need to be the wide, bro.
It's going to escalate, man.
Listen, I'm just saying, it's very strange. Everybody here is old enough to have purchased multiple consoles over years. And we have known that usually 6 to 8 months out, we know exactly what's going on, what it looks like. Yeah, people have it in hand. Now, I think they're using this whole COVID thing to cover it up. But if Microsoft is doing all the stuff that we're used to during the same pandemic, you don't get a pass.
I feel that part. I feel that.
That's it. That's my opinion of it. I'm just saying.
If this was Microsoft, they'd be getting killed. But listen, I think also, I feel that both Microsoft and Sony are going to be shortages, and I think there's going to be a lot of people that I didn't think this day one, but of the pre-orders. But from what I've heard, the sentiment I've gotten is that they wish they would have made more. They can't believe the demand, that type of stuff. So what that tells me is that there could possibly be delays, not delays to console, but people who want to get consoles day one are going to either have to buy them on eBay, or they're going to have to wait maybe a month, maybe 2 months. And that's unfortunate. I think that's part of the thing is that, Bloomberg had an article on Sony that the yields weren't great on the fabrication chip, or the wafer, or whatever they call it. And I think that Microsoft also mentioned that their yields weren't the best with this new technology. So what that means is that you're going to get lower amounts of consoles to be put out there because whatever chip is bad, you got to throw it into the bin or whatever, and it's not usable because it can't be tested or whatever. So you're going to, unfortunately, I think for both Xbox and Sony, you're going to have shortages and that type of stuff. I think they've made enough to, facilitate the pre-orders and then maybe a little bit more than that. But as far as everything that's going on, it's definitely unprecedented times where, we're 6 to 8 weeks out. I mean, Xbox, people say we still haven't seen gameplay. I mean, that's legitimate of next-gen console, of like Valhalla, but that's going to come. Especially when they're putting out their games like their systems like they are. I think they're definitely more confident. But Sony definitely has to really answer some questions. And I'm hoping it's next week because we're really getting close to this point where, even for myself, like, if you're just going to be, like, totally non-transparent and say, I'm not going to, give you the decency to tell you what our plans are. Yeah. To me, even I'm gonna buy into your ecosystem and be a PlayStation 5 owner. But if you're gonna just like treat the consumer like that, I might not buy into it because I don't like the fact that they're just not being straightforward with this. I really feel like they're ducking the question. Like,
completely agree.
It's just something that they gotta handle, and let's see if they do.
Is it also maybe due to the fact that they maybe changed some last changements to the console, like upping up the teraflops? So maybe the chip side of things maybe adjusted along the way, and maybe that's why they're not well prepared. It's also a possibility. Yeah,
well, that's the low yields. That would contribute to the low yields. I mean, they talked about 50% in that article that Sony denied, but they didn't deny it directly to the people, which was weird. Yeah. And they kind of made a half-assed comment. They didn't, they just said our pre-orders haven't changed. But if it's a 50% ratio, that's like really bad. Like that's talking one chip good, one chip bad.
Well, that's the thing as well. Obviously, with the CUs being written off by the high ratio, Xbox have that counter argument of being able to use any offset chips that can't be used in the Series X in the Series S because it requires those less frequencies, less CUs, so they can then recycle that and use it again. PlayStation don't have that benefit. Right. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. They've just got to throw it out.
We've discussed it on this show because you guys know I used to work for many years in exactly that business. I was at TSMC building up the EUV lines myself. So the thing is with all these bins, I've been giving it a lot of thoughts. In the end, Sony has made one bad decision when it comes to these complicated chips. They went for these ridiculously high clock rates, and that makes a chip very, very difficult to manufacture. That is probably the reason why they have these low yields, because the technology itself to manufacture the chips isn't that different in between Microsoft and Sony. But the difference is that high clock rate, and for that you have to have a very, very clean silicon, and this is probably their biggest problem right now. And I was always pushing that narrative with the binning of that the chips that can't be used in the Series X will be used in Series S. I've done my research now. They don't do that, but I found out that they probably use those chips they can't use in the Series X in their Azure server centers. That is a very scalable technology. They can simply turn off CUs as they see fit, and that's probably where Microsoft is going to use most of the chips they can't use in the Series X, and that is giving them the biggest price benefit in the whole thing. And this is why we can have a Series X at $500. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Still a great price, eh? $499. I still cannot believe it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely insane. I mean, one thing that did come off the back of that, of course, is when we have seen this week all of the different the pages, the websites, etc., getting a hold of it. Brad Sams himself said it wasn't anything like that had in any other generation, having to have the console 2 months prior to the console launch, and said usually they'd be lucky if they had the console 2 weeks before. to be able to give impressions, etc. But again, that the transparency goes back to that. PlayStation have not given anything to anybody apart from Japanese YouTubers.
When is that coming?
It was supposed to be today.
Was it today? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. It was supposed to be today, and I think we still got enough time in the day, right? So
for you, yes. For me, not.
Being that I thought we were going to be on at 6 o'clock.
It's the second in Japan now.
Right.
It's the next day. They're
So
8 hours ahead of me, so 16 hours ahead of you.
That was supposed to be done, and they was supposed to do it in a controlled environment. So maybe it might be recorded, it might be edited, and then put out to the public. I don't think it's going to be something that's going to be live. I think it's going to be something that's going to be like a Nintendo Treehouse. I believe it's going to be something that is going to be heavily monitored and controlled, because they know from what they have been releasing, it has been hit and miss, right? So let's say they release a picture of Miles Morales. The fan base goes crazy. Then they release a video of Miles Morales, and then the fan base go crazy. But then Twitter hits, and then it's on the Pro. Then the fan base goes, what the hell? And then you start to question. And then you see the next video of the Spider-Man remaster. It's not a remaster, but the only thing remastered was Peter Parker face. And you do the remaster, and then they're critiquing the fake ray tracing, the missing things. So they have been really hit and miss. And I don't believe Sony likes this position that they're in, especially when Microsoft has been very cognizant in what they've been doing. Every Monday, in the beginning of our cycle, they have been releasing information, and it's very strategic because the NDAs that they have, these influencers, because these are influencers that have these boxes, right? They gave them the mock-up boxes the week before that Monday. Then supposedly they gave them the official boxes the next week, right? So did they have all the days to play this game? It didn't make any sense to me to send them a mock-up box and then send them a next box. But okay, let's go with it. This is what you said you did. All right. Now they can only talk about backup pack, quick save, and quick resume. Those, it's like 3 things they were able to talk about. I believe every Monday there's a next checklist for them to talk about.
It's a staggered information release. It's
right.
It's clear as day. Yeah.
But going into the launch, because everybody keeps talking about gameplay, we haven't seen that gameplay of the next generation games, and that hasn't been unlocked because from what they've been showing, these things are locked to them. And then the next part will be unlocking next generation type of games for gameplay, or the games that we're going to be seeing, because real true next generation games won't be until 2021, 2022. Those games that have been designed using the architecture, the velocity architecture, and stuff that can actually take advantage of the machine. Anything we're getting right now is probably brute forced in or tacked on. So I believe leading up to the next 5 weeks, we're going to see every Monday Microsoft taking control of the news cycle for the remainder of the week, with each influencer each day having something else to say. And each one, if you look, has a subscriber base of over 500,000 and more. So they're reaching millions of different people by using this strategy. It's absolutely mind-blowing.
Well, what you said, I agree with. How they're going to implement it, I also think they're going to they have the Jason Ronald in the next couple of weeks is going to talk about what games they're doing this double the frame rate BC. So we're going to have that. Then they're going to probably have next generation gameplay, which they got to show off. Valhalla, Watch Dogs, whatever you want to say, show some of those games. But you're right. I think that every Monday, from whatever they're doing, they're going to try to take the news cycle. And Sony too. Sony's going to have to really start to talk. I think next week Sony's going to show their thing, but I don't know if they're going to answer many questions. But they're going to have to show the system. They're going to have to start really, it's going to start to heat up. It's only a matter of time.
It's the way Tim said that. It's like they're gonna show up on stage and then rush off before the questions come. It's the way I don't know. I'm just laughing.
Yeah, they're gonna have somebody like King David or somebody like 6'8", 7 foot,
like you
Tyson
guys.
Fury. Yeah, Tyson Fury. There you go. But yeah, I think that's a good point though. Mondays, like they always say, if you have bad news, you put it on a Friday.
Yep.
So it goes to death over the weekend. And then if you have good news, you start all the good news, you start it really Monday or the news cycle. And so watch those news cycles for both Sony and Microsoft. I want to see what they're holding something back with this backwards compatibility. And I want to see what they're doing.
They're not holding anything back. They
No,
told
no.
you it's only going to be up to 100 of their best games.
No, I'm saying with Xbox, with the BC, with the double the frame rates.
Oh, okay.
Right.
They don't want to talk about that because I've asked about that,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, "Well, we'll talk about that at another time." And I've asked several people, and I think that they get something really cool with that. So, I mean, if you could get like Grand Theft Auto or Sunset Overdrive, 60 frames per second,
and HDR.
Damn. Yeah.
A lot of the stuff that we're seeing now is impressive, but a lot of it is unoptimized, right? It's just literally the brute force of the Series
Exactly.
X just doing this naturally, right? And that to me is amazing, especially even me as a Destiny player. I mean, I was watching, I think it was Jeff Grubb, one of those guys, or Tom Warren, and just seeing the improvements with the SSD, the load times, the NVMe, and that stuff. And then I'm seeing these frame rate jumps, especially for games that have their frame rates uncapped. And I'm like, wow, this isn't even optimized yet. This is just the natural brute force power of the system. So I agree with you, Tim. I think they're holding on to that. And then we'll probably get a segment during this, this news cycle of them showing
I agree.
Forza Horizon 4, all those games that will get these patches. That's going to be much closer to launch.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, we forget one thing. Usually by this time of the year right now, the public already would have played on those consoles, but we don't have an E3, Gamescom, PAX, and whatever.
They had great point. Remember they had like kiosks?
Yeah.
Freaking PlayStation 4s? You would be able to get hands on. This is definitely weird.
Wait, isn't the kiosk out of the Xbox though? I mean, I've seen them in the wild, but
no, I'm just saying like back
no
when
kiosks, not even kiosks for PlayStations yet.
Yeah, but back in the day, if you remember when PlayStation,
oh yeah, we would touch them. Yeah,
we would actually be. I remember going, and it wasn't even released. Seeing Killer Instinct, being like, "Wow." So that's and Xbox was also. I guess just so much have changed, and with the COVID, you don't know, but but wow, I mean, this is really coming in hot. This launch.
Yeah, now basically
King is out of control.
It's coming in. No, Tim, it's coming in very cold.
Savage.
Whatever. It's just crazy.
I mean, the main advertisement channel is social media for them. That's where everybody is right now because we are all in lockdown, all in our homes, and we all know how fast a hype train dies on social media. They last no longer than 1 week, and that's why I've said this before. I think the week before launch is where we will get to see a teaser for Hellblade 2 running on the Series X. That is where they need to bring that hype up, because one week after that, all gone,
No, I agree. I mean, I think, but to your point, before I'll let you go, Tim, I just want to say one thing is, I think what Xbox has done masterfully is, and Tim, you've got to know. I mean, one of the most powerful and strategic things they did was make that Bethesda announcement the day before pre-order.
Oh my God.
That was calculated perfectly, right? So they've been hitting on all cylinders, and I think we will get some type of gameplay or something. I agree with you, Tim. It's only a matter of time. I know, shout out to my audience crew. I know, dealing with guys a little frustrated, but at the end of the day, like I know it's coming. This is a calculated, strategic launch, and everything is done with purpose. Everything is done, and then we got to give them their back on point because I love whenever they see a flaw, they attack. they say, hey, we could do this. Hey, we don't have a problem with cloud saves. Hey, we don't have a problem with back compat. We believe, every little nuance that can be actually used as perceived weakness is being needled by this team. So trust me, I think they're back on point, and it all started back with the Series S reveal, the Series X reveal. That went well. It was received well. And then boom, the Bethesda was the home run. That was the shot in the arm, man. Like, it was like, wow. And you see the entire base just invigorated once again. So shout out to the
literally 2013 in reverse.
In reverse, yes.
Right, yes, 100%. When that hit, Boxenberger says that hype usually lasts about a week. He's completely right. But Bethesda was one of those where it lasted the whole week.
Yes.
The first day, even like first 10 minutes was just like the weirdest. I'm like looking at this thing and I'm like, the hell? What is this? Game pad shit? Like, what the hell's going on here? Then I'm reading and then
what?
And then I read it and then I'm like, oh my god!
Tim, what was your face like when you saw it? Like, I want to know what was going through your mind, brother.
Honestly, I was working and I was like with a customer, so I was kind of like trying to be not weird and be like,
did you do the yell? Did you do the yell? Yeah!
No, I couldn't do any of that because I was like. And honestly, like I looked at it and it was the weirdest experience. And this happens when like certain things happen that could shock you. It's like I'm like, okay, so that means that all their old stuff is going to come to BC. All their games are going to come to Game Pass. Probably, older games. I wouldn't think newer. And then I realized that they bought the whole entire thing, and I'm like, honestly, it took me a day or two to like wrap my head around it.
Why do we keep saying Bethesda?
ZeniMax, we know
it. No, let's say it though. Say it, man. Like, say it. Talk it into existence. You know why we say Bethesda? Because everybody knows like Jabot jeans, right? So let me get a Jabot jeans and you go to the store. These are some older jeans that cost a hell of a lot of money, right? Red Robin or whatever the hell with the but they went and purchased the whole damn store. They didn't go buy a pair of jeans. Like, Sony was going out getting little outfits that they could wear one or two times. And, and as I heard, I got so sick and tired of hearing people in my DMs, Sony is shopping. I hear them out there shopping. And then I look at
the store.
And then I look at their marketing budget for the year. I said, okay, well, they spend $250 million, so that minus out there, and then they have to market this. So I was like, okay, so they probably have around $3-point-something billion to spread around, and I'll figure out how that's going to go. And then I'm starting to look and see what's available for that price. Right. Then I'm looking at Microsoft, and when they was making big deals, I knew about certain big deals and stuff like that because my DM stayed crazy. But I look at them like, shut up. I ain't listening to you. And they were saying something about Todd Howard. You're gonna see. And I had tweeted out the next shoe would drop that day. So I guess whatever the deal was done that day, whoever was looking at my Twitter knew, and they was like, where was the shoe? Where's the shoe gonna drop? I said, wait for it. At the following week, they waited for the news cycle. Right beside your head, right before you was able to go pre-order, here comes that boot. Wow, right to the back of the head. And I'm jogging, and shout out to Mr. Boomstick. Please go follow, and subscribe his channel. I'm jogging, and I'm in my ninth mile, 8th or 9th mile. And I'm like, you know how do you start to bear in and your good music starts to kick in? Get it, that power music because your legs are shaking, your knees is wiggling, and you got those bulgy eyes, and people is running past you like, is he gonna have a cardiac arrest face? And my phone goes off, and I'm like, boom. So right now, during this COVID stuff, anytime somebody calls me that don't normally call me, I'm going to automatically pick up because you never know exactly what's going on. People might need help, right? So I pick it up and boom, it's like, yeah. And I'm like, what? And I have to take my headphones out of my ear. He's like, yeah, okay, they did it, yeah.
So you got to say how he said it.
Yeah. I'm like, boom, calm down. So I'm like, all right, take a breath, boom. He said they brought Bethesda. I said, what? They brought the whole damn thing, baby. I'm like, okay, boom. All right. They brought Bethesda. No. They brought everything. They got everything. It's over, King.
ZeniMax, baby. Yeah.
So I'm looking at the deal while I'm jogging, and my heartbeat is like pounding out of my chest. And I'm like, Phil, baby, that's right, baby. Right? I'm like the first thing in my head, I'm like, my man doing this thing, baby. And I said, E3 would have been madness this year. It would have been.
What? Phil, could you imagine us being there, like, tradition what we do? Could you imagine being in that crowd if if E3 existed?
That was
brother.
What the ZeniMax deal at E3? That would just be
would have rocked the building.
Mic drop.
The core.
My God.
That's funny.
Boom.
I think the whole roof came down.
Tim remembers last year, because Tim is a beast, right? Phil is over there, right? So he knows I want to see Phil every year or whatever, and I had his shirt to give him, right? And I didn't want to cut the line. So many people waited, to get there to see him, and his time was managed a little bit differently this E3 because of so many studios that they talked about and stuff, and he was doing so many, big things.
They had security around them.
Yeah. The Game Pass thing was moving, and Tim didn't care. Tim didn't give a damn. Tim
was a G.
Tim was like, yo, nah. He want to see you. You want to see him. And he cut the line. Tim was like, come here, man. Come here.
That was a flex. Right there.
It was a real mob move. Like, move. I'm Tim Dog. Move.
Well, I knew you had the shirt. We were respectful to the people, but you're a nice guy like that. You don't, you were like, nah. I'm like, get over here.
It was absolutely funny. So I get to him, and I didn't agree with a lot of things. And, he asked me about the show. What did I think about the show? And this is your moment. I'm not going to piss on your moment. I was like, we'll talk about it later. But, great show or whatever. And sometimes you don't, let's say the boss is saying something and you don't really agree with what the boss is saying, but if you believe in his vision, you just got to hunker down and you just got to keep faith. You just can't jump ship at any signs of something that you don't agree with at that point in time. So me having a conversation with him at that moment where I wanted him to put his foot on their neck, it wasn't the proper time. And he knew what he had on deck. So that wasn't the moment. This is the moment, because it wouldn't have hit as hard then. Right? This is going into the next generation. We must set pace in this generation. We must control narrative. We must control where the people take their dollars. And at that moment, I didn't get it, but I got it later. And I apologize that Sunday, but I know this because he told me.
Well, there was no Sony E3 too, so there was that everyone wanted that. No, but everyone wanted them to do exactly what you said, and that's why it didn't do its thing. I remember when you said that to him, you were like, we'll talk about it, and I think Phil, he was a little bit at that E3. He was a little bit defiant. I think he didn't, he gave me a little, he changed the score, this and that. And the thing about Phil that I appreciate is that, he might sleep on things, but he's not too big enough in his head where he says, I'm wrong, I'm always right. He'll come through and he'll be like, you know what, maybe we should have did a little bit more, and and he's not that type of guy where he's like he's putting an ego trip. He could say he's wrong, or it's just like with the thing with E3. I mean, with Hellblade, when Cindy Walker came up and said, "Let's do it this way," and he was like, "No," and then he was like, "Okay," and he thought about it. So the good thing about Phil is that he's not one of these guys that you can. Like if their mind's made up, they're going to get defiant and say "F you," he'll always be open to listening, and he'll take the brunt of criticism. He definitely will, and he'll take it in, and he doesn't get too he's not too big-headed. Right. Where he's like, I'm above this, and I think that's a great quality in him.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think the main problem with E3s or any big shows that they have is that they a little bit overhype the show prior to what's happening, right? Yeah. I mean, and that's.
But they overhype it. But then Forza, then they do something like this, and you're like, "What the hell did you have this to show?"
Yes.
You know, like
exactly. Yes. Well, actually, you're waiting every time for a moment that has dropped like 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago.
Yeah, well,
and they don't do it for 5 years
Right.
already. We're like, "Oh man, the good stuff is coming," and then every time you're like, not that great,
E3 is more of a you need to be there type of thing in this digital age. Right, because in this digital age, we consume information at a rapid rate that it no longer reverberates the way that it used to. We would get a magazine and we would read that magazine from cover to cover, upside down, left and right, and starved until we got the VHS a month later. And we got the VHS and we watched that video until the tape stretched. and we passed it around like a hacky sack. Everybody saw it and everybody, felt that same energy at least for 4 to 5 months. And we didn't have the leakers now. Everybody's trying to get clickbait, whatever information that they can get and get it out to you, right? So we are desensitized by that. So I believe that E3 is more of that whole experience, because when you get to the floor, when you get to see the cosplayers and you get to see the stands and the booths, and I don't care if you saw the game 1,000,000 times on YouTube, when the game is in your face and you get a chance to pick up that controller with your friends around you, it's different. It's different.
It hit different.
Right? Yeah. So I believe it's more of an event, and I was looking forward to them pushing back on what Jeff Keighley was doing with the digital stuff. I was looking for their answer to that, because they said they was going to make it into a more carnival, a more Bethesda type of show, because Bethesda gives the best E3 experiences the world has ever seen. And they need to, really? Microsoft, I hope you're listening, let Bethesda take control over FanFest.
Tim, do us a favor.
Please.
We know that Microsoft's one of our favorite conferences at E3. We know that. But we have to admit, the Bethesda conference is always popping.
Well, that's the thing. One thing though. Listen, they got a guy, Peter Hines, who's really, really good. So, like, if they have an E3 next year, you're dealing with them having with Bethesda and everything that they have. There's no way they're losing an E3, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. I just selfishly don't want them to give up that amazing conference and the festivities.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Tim, you know what I'm talking about.
I know. Unfortunately, probably won, but yeah, you're right.
Let me tell you something. Bethesda is so amazing. Let me tell you the orgy of your eyes, right? This is the orgy of your eyes. When we walked in, I had swore off of meat. Right, and I have been off of meat for like a year at this point in time, right? And they had this Skyrim event, and when you walk in, they had this big mug of mead, right?
It's like how Dutch put your cup down, Dutch, like that, but bigger. Yeah, picture that.
Oh yes,
scrolls on it, and it's bigger than that.
So they gave that out to fans filled with rare beer, not crappy beer, mead. All right, real Viking mead. Viking, right? and it was glass. All right, so they didn't care if you was going to have a fight. They didn't care, right? But they had. If you ever watched the Flintstones, you see that drumstick, that pterodactyl leg that he eat. They had that, bro. All right, so at this moment now, I'm having a battle with my God, right? And I'm like, God, you wouldn't bring me here. Knowing that I don't eat meat and showing me this Fred Flintstone turkey leg, like I'm not going to taste this. I'm going to taste this, God. And God said, remember your vow. And I said, yeah, but you wouldn't bring me here. You helped my lady here. So I'm drinking my beer. I'm eating my giant turkey leg that I didn't. I mean, I swear, it made me feel like a child.
I got the pictures. I'll try to find them and put them up.
Yeah, put them up. We walked into their area. It was like, They had Fat Burger there. They had women walking around in short skirts with freshly made burgers right off the
Forza
oven.
perked up. Looking for the thing. Looking for. He was like, Bethesda.
Listen, for no reason, right? And in the middle of the room, they had a giant Pit Boy.
Yes.
And on the table, it was any kind of candy that you
Every candy
ever wanted. On the side,
Bro,
they had, those Dippin' Dots?
Yes.
The Dippin' Dots of space age ice cream?
Bro.
They had a machine just for Dippin' Dots.
Then they had a live concert going on with musicians going on. And then we chilling. And then, like, Tim, we see Packers there, hip hop, everybody, every major person in the industry.
Oh, they was there. Okay, so tell them about they had the live bar where everybody wasn't selling alcohol or giving alcohol.
Yeah.
They had, what do you want to drink?
What you want to drink?
I said, let me have a Grand Marnier. Oh, yeah, we got that. I said, oh, God, here we are. Here we are.
Here you go, sir.
Open
All right, so listen, bar.
They send you home in they send you home in an Escalade bus.
Yes, I remember that. Yes.
Okay. This is when I said they're the greatest things that
ever. We was like, Bethesda's the greatest game company ever.
All right. Now, this is what happened to me the next morning. I wake up and I'm scratchy. I'm itchy. From my neck down. This is how good God is, right? From my neck down to my feet, I broke out in hives.
Because you wasn't supposed to eat that meat.
Because I wasn't supposed to eat the meat. So he said, I'm not going to mess with your face. You're not going to look like a full lizard. But you will feel like a lizard for defying me. And all I could say as I itched and I put my ointment on, yo, Bethesda's the shit.
It was worth it. It was worth it, fam. It was worth it. But yeah, the moral of the story is that's the only sad part of the acquisition is because when E3 resumes, God willing, COVID goes away and stuff like that. And we always miss it. Like I said, Microsoft conference always good, but the Bethesda conference with the holiday, we just hope let them retain their culture. Let them be themselves.
They can mix it up with FanFest.
Yeah,
very good.
Let them control the events. That's all we say.
But one of the things I actually tweeted about it, and I wish they had done this. This is the way I would have handled it with the Bethesda announcements. So I'd have everything that they had planned for 9:00 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mm-hmm. What I would do is at 8 a.m. I would have a tweet by Xbox saying breaking news. And then you would hit on it, and it would take you to a tweet to Phil in his office. And all he would do is he would stand up with the mic and say, Bethesda, drop the mic.
Boom.
And then that's the end of the tweet. But then you let the internet just go crazy. That 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. hour, do you imagine what would happen? And then you would go with everything. But that was the one thing. It was a mic drop moment. And unfortunately, in COVID times, we really can't see it. But that was the thing. I think that we wanted for like 5 years. We wanted that mic drop, and I think that was the full mic drop where that was like a double mic drop. That mic drop hit the ground, hit his hand again, and he's fucking slammed it down again. You know what I mean? Like it was that. It was that big. I mean, you think about it. It's just ZeniMax 8 studios, and some of these studios are hiring. They're becoming AAA studios. They have one mobile studio, but I think that's pretty cool too because maybe they could have something that they, with the amount of studios that they have, where they could be a little exploratory with Xcloud.
And Xcloud,
make a game actually made for a.
Completely agree with you, brother.
I don't hear nobody saying anything bad about the Gears game that I play on my phone. What is it? Gears Pop.
Gears Pop.
Yeah.
I play this game as much as I possibly can, anywhere I can. So if they can get more mobile games, please. I don't give a damn.
That mobile studio, the Japanese studio with Tango. There's so many underrated aspects of that deal. But like Tim said, it's one of those moments in gaming where you go, where were you when that happened? You'll never forget, man. Like I said, and Tim's right. Like if it was at E3, forget it. That would have been the moments we've always been wanting to see at an event. But it still happened. It was still amazing. Fantastic stuff.
It was really difficult to try and work that day, to be fair, because I dropped in the middle of work. The middle of work, bang in the middle. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. There it goes. There goes my day. That's it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Dear me.
I like the fear that it instilled inside the populace. Because it was one half of the populace that said, "Yeah, I told you, damn it!" And then it was the other half of the populace that was like, "What the hell does this mean?"
Are you implying that people were begging for exclusives?
No. It started off.
They still do.
It started off with doubt, right? And they had doubt, and it was like. And that doesn't mean that we're not going to get. We're going to still. And then it turned into disbelief.
The stages of grief.
We're gonna still get games like. And then they came to an acceptance. When that tweet went out, they was like, "We don't care." There was only like 7 people that wanted that game.
Those games are trash anyway. Those games, they don't like those games.
Everywhere.
Then they started talking about, well, they're not going to take it out of the store. And this is when I stood on my pillar. I stood on my pillar and I gave people examples. If Nintendo can do this to their own game, that Mario game just came out and they told you that soon you won't be able to purchase it physical or digital because we're going to yank it out because they own the IP. Now, this is someone that has nothing to do with this fight because Nintendo doesn't care about what's going on over there. So I'm going to give you the Nintendo view of how they can handle their IPs. So this is what happens when you own it. I feel, and I hope Microsoft is listening. Matter of fact, I hope Phil Dominus Maximus Aurelius Spencer is listening at this moment. Take your stuff out of their store. Take everything out of their store. Only leave them with Skyrim online, whatever the hell they got that's online that can keep giving you money. But take everything out of their store. From this day on, don't make anything Fallout, anything else purchasable in their store. If you have a physical copy, God bless you. Won't get any more updates. That's you.
Oh my God! They can't get the patches.
We will not patch you. We will not support you. You own that, and you will play in the state that we left you in. Right? And you know why? If you want the updated one with the new patch, and the day that you take it out of the store, put up a new patch on the other one,
and then let Xbox have it.
And let Xbox have it, and put out a tweet saying the new patch is up live right now in Game Pass with all the games that is no longer available anyplace else. No, listen, because we must do it like this. This is the reason why. This is the reason why. Why must Microsoft be the nice guy, right? Was they the nice guy when they took Street Fighter from us and made me buy a PlayStation 4? Hell to the no, right? Was they the nice guy when they made sure that Spider-Man was only available over there if you brought Marvel Avengers for the same price, but you got half the damn game? No, we don't care. So get all of our stuff away from them, make them come over there, make them pay that $300 to buy a Series S, or make sure that the only thing that's available if they own a PlayStation is a Series X, and make them pay the $500 to get into this ecosystem to enjoy what we have. You are no longer welcome over there. You're welcome over here. That's it. And you know what?
Right there.
No, you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to, when you're the big bully.
You put a boot on the neck.
You know what? I'm sick and tired of acting like we have the same pockets. You know what it is? It's like me going into the club with somebody who's financially is not as affluent as I am, and we're doing the same things. He's throwing ones, I'm throwing 20s. We're not in the same category. I should be in VIP. I got to leave him alone. Oh, I'm going to go over to VIP and I'm going to leave that guy down there. Now, me personally, I'm sick and tired of everybody saying that we need Sony for competition. No, we don't. We didn't need Sony for competition because Sony didn't need Sega for competition when they killed Sega off. Right? Everybody was happy when they killed Sega off. And when Sega fans like myself was sad and crying, Microsoft came and took up that mantle. So I want Microsoft for the name of Sega to kill these dudes off.
Oh my God.
Make their games, their IP.
What about the women and children?
I don't care about them. I don't care about them. Make their IPs played over here. Make them a multi-plat console, software developer. They make great single-player games, right? We will like that. We need that in our ecosystem. So kill them off and let's get The Last of Us 3 on the Xbox. This is what I feel. So listen, I'm going to tell you right now, go as hard as you possibly can because I don't think they can survive the barrage. If they make a misstep, right? I don't think they have the wherewithal to get out of this generation. Was this the same energy that they had when Microsoft was on the brink, when Donnie Davis was trying to kill us off? No, right?
Shout out to Terry Myerson. Shout out to Del Matrick.
All right.
Oh, man.
So when they was trying to kill us off, the Sony dudes was like, yeah, Microsoft is getting out of the game business, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
You're right.
Yeah,
So
well,
let's kill them all.
Let them get off.
I think Sony, just to be honest, and I've told people at Xbox, and I think that at first that they may have given me resistance with this, but I think that they do believe this now, that Sony doesn't want Xbox's competition. They do not. They'd rather them not in the space, and you see why they wouldn't want them in the space. Look at this whole backwards compatibility thing. If they didn't have no competition, I guess what? You might have no backwards compatibility. You might have totally decisions that benefit them. This free, enhancing games for free. That goes against, what they do with the backwards compatibility. That goes against what they do. They put out a remaster of The Last of Us 9 months after release.
Facts on the new console. That
on
is
the new console. So it's like I don't know. I mean, it's. I think Sony is a very business strategic. They're a cutthroat business when it comes to this, because this is what they're all about, and I respect that. Let me tell you, because it's a dog-eat world in business. You know what I mean? There's no friends. There's no utopia where everyone's like, "Yeah, we share games, and we love each other." It doesn't happen like that. And I think that maybe I think Phil might have at one time believed that could happen, but I don't think he believes that anymore. And that's the one reason why I think that these Bethesda games and ZeniMax, for the most part, are going to all be Xbox, because you gotta have something for your people that support your ecosystem to hang their hat on. And believe me, if they showed Elder Scrolls 6 and they showed a PlayStation 5 logo at the end, they wouldn't be talking about your system. They wouldn't be talking about Xbox. They'd be talking about, hey, I'm going to just get this on PlayStation 5. And that's why they cannot make the mistake of thinking it's this utopia world where games can go wherever. It's just a piece of it. A lot of that's true, but when it comes to what's better, my car, what's better, your car, my car, and something that is exclusive to one car, believe me, people put that stuff on a pedestal, and that's why they need to keep these games exclusive, and they need to just keep going and pushing forward, because if Xbox really was in a position to be taken out, I think that they would be taken out by Sony or whatever.
Yeah, but it's the same with net. Sorry, you go ahead, Robbie.
What I was thinking, it's not just Xbox and PlayStation. It's what they've said before. It's not only PlayStation who are the competitors anymore. They're way beyond that. And then the exclusivity, it's becoming more and more important. They need to be ready for what's the next generation is going to bring, and that's way beyond PlayStation alone.
That shows the future vision.
We've heard Amazon has stepped into the arena of gaming.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah,
Luna.
Exactly. But it's the same with Netflix originals, right? I mean, you see those series or movies you see only on Netflix. You don't see it on Amazon Prime or whatever thing you have. So I think it's logical to think that Bethesda games will be exclusive on the Microsoft platform. And it's not only a console, because I think the Sony PlayStation fans really think in console only. And the strategy for Microsoft is already been changing to PC, to mobile gaming now with Xcloud and stuff like that. So they want you just in their ecosystem, and then they want it, and they have the opportunity to grow it so big that the ecosystem, it goes beyond consoles. And I think Microsoft is showing their future vision for a long time now, and it only shows now. And I think Game Pass, and I said it a couple episodes before, Game Pass is changing the whole industry, and you see that happening, at least in gaming.
I completely agree. Like the difference between PlayStation fans and Xbox fans now is, I think, not only just the fans but the companies, is Xbox realized there's a much bigger market, and the reason Aaron Greenberg himself came out and said, no, we said what we said. Like, those games will be released on Xbox and only Xbox. Like, we're not going to be doing this cross-platform stuff. We don't need to now, because our market's much bigger than You've got 100 million consoles, but we have billions on mobile.
Exactly.
Like that's a much bigger market now.
But the console market is always for years now already around 200 million in total, or 250 million.
Yeah,
it's yes, you reach the ceiling, right, with that one.
Right.
So you need to expand, and I think Sony is maybe slowly but steady also dipping their toe in the water with that, with games like MLB The Show being multi-platform, right, and Horizon Zero Dawn. They just take it really slow. Or Microsoft is really bold and they have a future vision, and they have the whole company Microsoft supporting them. I mean, you see Satya Nadella also supporting that in the statements that they're not done with taking over companies and etc. And you know that if a complete company like Microsoft is behind it, man, you know what to expect. Man, maybe Bethesda is just a tiny thing if we look 2 years from now.
Yeah.
Well, that's the
Microsoft
thing.
is going so fast right now. It's unbelievable.
They
It's
have
not only their gaming division. It's in everything in what they do. They are going so extremely fast. I can see it in my work. I'm doing in the Power Platform. I can keep up with all the changes that they are doing. And that's the business side. So they're investing even more in that side. If they're going with that pace in their gaming division, they're straight ahead.
Yeah, even in my work, we have now autonomous growing in the greenhouses, and even they are investing in that part, and also with patents and etc. They're really going hard, man. It's just such a big and powerful company, and if you have that behind you, man, you don't know what's gonna happen.
I feel that Sony has no choice but to look at it in the console space, because that's the only space that they decided to play in. All right, and they've been locking their fan base off to that. What I just did right now was just I just did it just for beastie sakes, right? So I installed Doom to all my other Xboxes, right? All right, so even the condo Xbox, it's everywhere, right? So. But then it had the option, right, to play now. So right now, I was just like, let me just play it right now. So I played it right now, right? Just because I had to take the clip off, right? So with my controller. So I just did it just for shits and giggles, right? just because that's something that they won't understand or ever experience. And there's a lot of things that I've noticed that the fan base, if you lock yourself off to that console, right? So when they do things, you are happy that they initially do it, right? So when I've noticed with the Spider-Man, and we could talk about it because that just dropped and all the information and everything is on that. But if you have an Xbox One X and you put in an older game and it's enhanced, it says enhanced. When it says enhanced games, boy, your eyes start to pop and you start to see your game in a different view, right? And they're getting that taste of that now. So what I believe that, the PlayStation 5 was a direct competitor to the Xbox One X. I think the Xbox Series X caught them completely off guard. And I only say this because I believe that PlayStation 5 was supposed to be released when they was going to do it last year. But then when they found out that the Xbox One Series X was going to have 12 teraflops, they was like, what the hell? And said, okay, let's overclock this thing. Let's see what we can do and what's all these changes that they can make to the device. Because if you look at this system off of the top, it looks like it's a competitor to the Xbox One X because it's superior to the Xbox One X in every facet if it was going off of the 8-point-something teraflops that was initially in the box before they overclocked it to 9-point-something. I feel that Jim Dance Moves Ryan will take the company to where they need to go. And I say this in saying while he's dodging his slings and arrows,
like in the
they
Matrix?
needed to he got his dance shoes, he got his tap shoes on, he's moving, he's doing what he's supposed to do at the company because he's a businessman. They brought in a logical businessman to run the business because I'm pretty sure they looked over to whoever was in charge of PlayStation Now and said, how the hell we only have 2 million subscribers, we have 120 something odd million consoles out there, we have supposedly 90 million subscribers to our PlayStation Now, and that doesn't count because you counting Fortnite people that don't play for stuff. But I mean, there's other things, caveats that go with that. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. You only have 2 million people that are in this paid for program. Xbox Game Pass has less games and has a higher attach rate per console.
Sure.
What the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
Now you must make this viable. And they could switch it around. So when he turned around and said these games are going to be available on PlayStation 4, I get it. Because you need that money.
Sure.
When he turned around and said these games is going to be on PC, I get it. Because you need that money. And when they said that they're going to do something that's sort of like Game Pass, but we don't know really with the PlayStation 4 games being in some PlayStation 5
collection
weird
thing,
space, the collection thing, I get it. Because you need money. So let's stop acting like they are not in a position to make money, and they're a company, right? Let's start looking at what they're doing successful, and let's make our platform as equally successful in this service area. So first thing we got to do is go over to Microsoft and say, please, kind sir, please, can I use some of your servers, please? Please, because I see y'all just tearing up the industry with these servers. Oh my God. All right, so they sign them, they get them on some old deal with them and say, okay, we give you some servers. We want some transistors. Transistors, that's it. Yeah, we need transistors, not knowing that they're going to need transistors later, right? If you only had those transistors for your PlayStation 5. How shrewd Microsoft is. Like, mere pittance transistors. Give it to him. We need the servers. Right? So, I mean, they can get their server game up. They can get their stuff around. I mean, this stuff can be turned around. But when I say crush them, in all honesty, I mean crush them. Seriously.
Yeah, I know you do. I know you do. You don't want competition. I want competition. You don't want competition.
No. I want their games.
Okay.
See, don't get it twisted. Only good Sony is a Sony that's making games for Xbox, in my opinion, right? So if I could get The Last of Us on one spot, I don't have to go over to that ecosystem. Hell yeah, I sign up for that. If I can get Ghost of Tsushima 2 on the Xbox, hell yeah, I sign for that. I don't have to go over there. So just the same way they was talking about Halo being on PlayStation, I'm talking about this. I'm doing the same energy. They don't like the same energy.
This is your revenge tour.
This is the bear. They poked the bear. They poked the bear. But let's.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got to roll. I got a birthday party I got to go to, or a birthday dinner. A pleasure. This podcast is a lot of fun. I love how it's just go and just talk like a bunch of guys that talking gaming just at like a bar or whatever. It's really great.
Exactly. Like FanFest, Tim.
Yes, and great people here, and I owe you a full show, so I will be back. We can set that up. Thank you for having me, and I'll see you guys on the Twitter.
No problem.
Have a good one, Tim. Later.
It's your turn to pick the place for dinner. It's your turn.
I know. Well, COVID fucked us.
No. Do that COVID stuff. We're all good. I've been tested, so
I've been tested.
All right. Well, we'll start the deal. We'll get a group message going on.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so be good, brother.
Yeah. All right.
Cheers, Tim.
And then there were 9.
They were
You know what I hate, and this is just a random thought. I'm jogging, right, and and then you have people that's walking on the other side, and they pull like a little mask up. I'm like, whoa! First of all, did I walk? At me jogging look like I said I have COVID? What the hell? Why are you putting your mask? I really felt the way today, and then she pulled her mask up. And I was like, you know what? I'm tested. Have you been tested? Or have you been tested one? Maybe you got the COVID. You were trying to keep it away from yourself. I said, you know what? And I felt the way I was jogging. It messed with me for like half a lap. But I'm like, how dare she pull her little mask up? How dare you? Random thought.
But maybe you farted while running. There's really tiny parts already.
Listen, she was in front of me. She wasn't behind me. Now, lo and behold, anybody that's behind me, God bless. God bless you. Because you're gonna go inside that smoke, toxic cloud. God bless for you.
Savage.
Jesus Christ.
Everybody act like they don't fart when they jog. Shut up, man.
Was you ready?
You're running up the stairs.
That's when you stop and stretch and just let it out easy.
Oh my god! Try to do that casual joint. Ease it out.
I just let it all go.
Oh, there we go.
I don't want anything to creep up on you silently. I just want to just drop it like luggage on the floor. Boom.
Welcome to the Mix Up Podcast.
And you know what? I think because when you try to hold it in and you try to suppress it, I think it messes with your heart or something. So if you just release and just let it go, man, so what? We're human. We all gonna do it, man.
You letting all your teraflops out.
That's right.
King, is that how you got everybody to get out of line for your PS5?
Yo, if I was able to do it at that point in time, I would have, clowns.
Yeah.
Hey, clowns.
What's up, brother? So quick after Bethesda announcement. Everybody's like clearing a path.
Just a Green Goblin smoke crowd. Like,
Oh,
man.
Oh my God! Luggage on the floor, man. This is
but you know what it is. You know when you're by yourself and nobody's in the house and you just let one rip like yours. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you look around like, yeah. And your wife come down the step like, that was you? Are you okay? Damn it, man! I thought you were sleeping. That was you woke me up.
King, true story, King. Ready for this? In Toys R Us, right? I was looking at the bike rack, right? Mm-hmm. And there's people crowding around because bikes are pretty popular back then. Everybody wanted bicycles. Mm-hmm. My dad let one rip and walked away and blamed my mom.
Yo!
Everybody couldn't be on. I got the bike I wanted.
Shout out to your dad for using old school terror tactics.
You think that's bad? True story on my side is my stepdad. We're in Game, which is kind of like GameStop.
Yeah, that's GameStop in UK. Yeah, I've been.
My stepdad cleared the store.
Yo! Nice.
Yeah. My mom was like, I have never been so embarrassed.
And he was like, that's nothing. That's a Sunday.
you know this one, guys. You know this one?
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
Oh, wow.
The guy in the store?
Wow.
Oh.
Hilarious. That's funny.
Yo, Cog, so when you was playing the cloud, speaking of clouds.
Mm-hmm.
I like who did that.
Speaking of smoke clouds. Yo,
smoke.
When you was playing the cloud, how did you feel like when you were able to just jump in a game instantaneous and because when I just did it right here, I mean, because I haven't played it in a while and you said it and it just rings something in my head and I was like, wow, let me do it again. How did you feel?
Bro, it's amazing.
Doing it abroad because you was abroad, you was away.
That's the ultimate test because I think with Xcloud locally, I mean, let's be real. You're home, you test it, you go about 30 minutes to an hour, you recognize the functionality, but you're good. But when you're away and you don't have your console, right? So now I'm testing out the Razer key sheet. And you guys know I'm a big Switch fan. So to have this Switch functionality, all my buttons, all my configuration with my phone in the middle, and the resolution is outstanding. You know what I'm saying? And then just to see that, and then what I like with the
what phone do you have again?
Oh, this is the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra, sir.
Oh, okay.
That too, man.
Check out that nice little IOP background.
Humble brag.
Humble brag. But yeah, man, like the resolution is outstanding. So then what I like with the Game Pass app, you can actually now disable notifications. Because shout out to Addict, he is the king of while I'm playing Xcloud. He wants to send text messages, the overlays go over my, and I'm like in the middle of Gears of War and Addict's talking, and I'm like, no. So now you got an option that you can disable all notifications while you play. And again, it is so fantastic. And you basically have Xbox Live functionality. You log in, you can see your friends list, you can see people can invite you to party chat.
Right.
You can party chat. So what I like to do is because the key sheet is a local, physical connection, right? And you're not using any latency there. Then what I tend to do then is I'll use like a Bluetooth headset to my phone, and that's my party chat device.
Right.
So I'm literally, I could be in a full-time party you're having console experiences. Yeah, look at my man Dutch with the
There we go. He's doing it.
He's doing it, bro. It is so amazing to be able to play a fully fledged I got progress done in Outer Worlds that I put about 4 to 5 hours in extended time, and I'm doing this not off of wireless. I'm doing this off of 4G LTE. I'm not even at a Wi-Fi hotspot, and it was still impressive. And then when I came back from my trip, save data, everything's there. You load up your Xbox, everything that you did progresses. It's the future of gaming, brother. It really is. I mean, I know game streaming is not for everyone, but this is going to appeal to a market that either just only plays on mobile or markets that don't buy consoles. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be look at him showing up that cloud sync. Look at him showing up that same data. I see you, Dutch. I see what you're doing, Dutch. You're stunting right now. Are you implying that is a feature that another competitor doesn't have?
You know, you bring up a good point. Cloud game is not for everyone, especially those on PS Now. Right.
But I mean, no, you genuinely do bring up a good point. I mean, I don't know about Japan, but I know China has an amazing internet infrastructure out and about in the world. When I was there, I could log on to any Wi-Fi system easily. South Korea is insane.
It's insane.
I saw it must have been about 5 years ago. So because me and my wife, we were thinking about going out to South Korea to teach. And I saw a video. Somebody was sat in a national park about half an hour from Seoul.
Yeah.
And they were on Wi-Fi and they were getting a gigabyte download.
Oh yeah.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like that, I think it's going to absolutely explode.
Absolutely, brother. And the key difference, not to cut you, Shomberlon, is that I've experienced all the cloud gaming infrastructures from Stadia to to remote play. The thing that people don't realize too, again, for the true remote experience, to not have to be tethered to a Wi-Fi access point is huge. All the others, I have Sony Remote Play, and it's decent, but I have to be on Wi-Fi. I have to be in the house connected on my network to be able to do it. The fact that I could be anywhere, so Xcloud then becomes the ultimate. Oh, I got time to kill. Oh, I'm in the doctor's office. Oh, I'm at the drive. You know, like you look for excuses to use it because if there's a long period of downtime, your 4G LTE, whatever you at, and if you're in some areas that even have 5G now, you're even golden. But even with the lowest config, say 20 gig down or whatever, 1 gig up, you're still having a fantastic experience. And that's the part about it that really separates it, because you're untethered. You're not forced to be in the house. You're not forced to, hey, who has Wi-Fi here so that I can connect?
How much does that cost?
If you got 4G unlimited, I know I got Verizon.
How much does that ability cost on the Microsoft? You said is a Microsoft what? What is it again? Wait, how am I able to get this?
You talking about the Game Pass?
Just Game Pass. It's just a monthly subscription.
So
it works out at £10 a month, £10 a month.
So that's with Game Pass Ultimate, right?
Yeah, Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah.
Oh yes, okay. So it's in Game Pass Ultimate. So I'm able to, with Game Pass Ultimate, also play on my PC, my console, and on my phone on the go for the very low price of $15.
Yes.
Well, King, wait a minute. I got mine for $1.
Yeah,
well,
and
I hear a lot of ponies talking about $1. You know, how is that sustainable?
And Microsoft doesn't make any money out of it. You know,
much cheaper.
Oh, messy. Oh my God!
I heard November 10th they also adding EA Play with no additional cost.
That's huge.
Oh yeah,
this is crazy.
All of a sudden, EA's no big deal. You know, Sony fans, it's no big deal.
Like Madden is nothing now. Like
it's like, you know.
I'm gonna speak to Xbox marketing because they need to hire you, King.
I'm just asking questions because do we have people that just tuned in that was like, YouTube just pushed this on them and they were like, what's going on here? And they just was like, what is this Game Cloud stuff that they're talking about? Is it Stadia? Hell no. It's Game Pass, and you're like, what's going on here? And it allows you to get in, baby. If you don't want to buy a console, you don't want to buy a PC, you're still in, baby.
The coolest thing is I'll cut you for it. I'm sorry. The coolest thing is when you in an area and people see it for the first time, they're watching you play. and they're like, "Yo, what is that?" You know, I'm like, "Yo, hey man, I'm playing Xbox." They just mind blown at that level of quality on your phone. So it's truly transformative.
You like showing off, don't you?
Yeah.
Has anybody of you tried the console streaming? Not the Azure stream.
Yes.
I've been using that a lot.
Yeah.
And what really surprises me is how seamless that works. If you have the game on your phone, wherever you are, I've been playing it off of 4G, so fantastic experience there. The game was running on my console. I come back home, turn my console on, I pick up exactly where I left off on my phone with every game. They don't even have to be in Game Pass. With every game I own.
Yes.
This is incredible.
Yeah, the console stream is so underrated. Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
I had it a few weeks ago. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Did you play on 5G at all?
I have not played on 5G yet. The most I've done 4G, and but I haven't been. I think there's only one area in New York, New Jersey where I've seen 5G, so I've yet to test it. But we're still very limited in the areas by me that have 5G.
Same here.
I played on our 5G with T-Mobile. And it's not as good. It's not as good as Verizon's 5G, right?
Right.
But it was smooth, even on T-Mobile's 5G. It was smooth. Yeah, I was having a blast with it.
So much fun, brother. So much. So it's cool. It's going to be the next level. That's the bigger picture that everyone was talking about as far as what Microsoft is looking past that console space. It's the bigger picture, man.
And right now, everybody is talking about Xcloud as the mobile gaming service. But this is not the end game for Microsoft.
No.
They will bring that to every device that has a screen. You will be able to play that on your refrigerator. I'm telling you right now.
Since we're talking about accessibility, don't they have an all-access program?
Oh, my God.
I'm just saying,
let's not get Bomber started on that one, because Bomber's all access is
don't say nothing to Bomber.
He's got some things to tell you about that.
I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying. I know right now it's not implemented in the way that it should be, but I was like pondering these things, right? And I noticed how in the beginning when we first got our phones, I had that the Razor, remember the flip phone, and he was like, "Oh my God, yo, this is crazy." And then we would wait for companies when they came out with a phone, but we had to purchase the phone straight out, like Blackberries, straight up cash.
Is that what you have to do in America? You have to purchase them
straight up. That was back then. Now I'm talking about years ago.
In our contract, so we kind of might pay a little bit extra, but we don't have to pay up.
Well, no. See, this is when I had got the iPhone. Right, so when I got the iPhone, that's when it changed because I was like, "Oh, little touch," and I was like, "Oh my God!" And then my music, they killed my Zune off, right?
Oh,
so they killed my Zune because I had that music in my phone, the iPhones. I was in the ecosystem. I was purchasing my music through them, and then they had this little contract thing where if I had decent credit, that I was able to get the phone, for a little bit extra a month. And you notice that contract always ends when the new phone comes out.
Of course.
Right? So I was looking at Microsoft and I was looking at this all access program and I'm like, man, there's some genius that's in there because you notice that the Xbox Series S and the Xbox Series S, they are when Microsoft talks about them, it's just called Xbox. The series is to tell you the SKU, right? To put you in, but they're still in the same ecosystem. So if your television doesn't do, true 4K or whatever, go with the S. If your television does and has some 8K functionalities and you want a little beefier type of experience in your true gamer or whatever, go with the X, right? Okay. I'm thinking this all access program, once you're in for the 2 years, you can trade it in your console and upgrade to the next thing. Are we in the beginning stages of the refresh rate consoles where they tried it this last generation?
Oh, I see where you're going. Yeah, I see.
Right? And they lock you in. Now you're in because once you get used to paying a subscription service like all of us do with Netflix or something like that, we just keep it going, baby. We already use there's some allocated in our pockets. I mean, we will cut food instead of cut Netflix at this point, right? So once we're at that point with these consoles, do they upgrade to the next console every 2 to 3 years to keep you in the ecosystem and you trade in your old system and get the new one and keep you rolling around and they just keep incrementally upgrading the console. So we have 12 teraflops now. Next one is 16 teraflops with larger space inside, and it keeps you inside because I noticed Microsoft did say they had more consoles that they were working on after this console.
Yep.
So are we in the beginning stages of this thing? This is what my thought process is, and I know I wasn't pondering it by myself, so I'll bring it to you guys to figure out if anybody else had this thought, or am I just wacky by myself in this corner?
I just don't think the cadence, as far as the years, though, I think the cadence might be a little longer. You know what I'm saying? It was how long before we got the the Xbox One X? It was 3 years into the gen. I mean,
that's when we got the Pro. The X was 4 years after the gen.
Yeah, like 4. I could see that cadence maybe. You know what I'm saying? It depends. You know, I think the vibe I get from this generation, I mean, they're so prepared. The mistake with the Xbox One, I think we all admit, with the Jaguar cores, they were underpowered at the start of the generation. So I think now they're so advanced with this one. I think they have the luxury of riding it out a little longer in the gen, and they're so prepared studio-wise that they can ride it a little longer. But I understand where you're going with all access in your vision as far as, okay, lock a person into 2 to 3 years, and then it may have some cadence or some sequence with, you know, whatever they may plan. I could see that, but I just don't see the frequency as quick, the turnaround as quick as far as the console. But I understand where you're going with it. I'm sorry
I see it in chat there as well. I can see where you're going, but I think with the phones, they bring money. Consoles, they don't bring money. They make laws on the consoles. They make money on the software. And with the technology that Xbox is now working on with Xcloud, they have the possibility to just stream your games even if you don't have the best console. So I don't know. I think in a 3-year cycle will be the new thing, and in 3 years you will, as you say, you will have a 16 teraflops machine coming up, and you can just jump right in there. You can just trade in your Series X and get the Series X too.
So, what I've noticed, because I had this one DM that I look at and I give it the side eye all the time, right? But they explained to me that, and I think research and development always look at all possibilities, right? So I looked at Google's latest show with the Pixel show, and they were talking about the Chromecast and stuff like that, and the stuff that they're able to do with that little device, right? That they just plug into your TV. And, you know, Stadia is still tied to whatever Google does. And that is also a device that can be used to localize Stadia to a point where there's an access point, because I believe in the beginning it was catching fire when you was playing Stadia, right? I mean, this is true, right? Some overheated and they had to, you know, replace people's television and stuff. But now that they got the fire thing under control, I believe at some point in time, the consoles is going to get into that space, being that we're talking about cloud gaming and stuff like that. And there's still that localization when it comes to a smaller device that's like $50 that can be refreshed every 2 years that you're in that ecosystem. And you're just paying for Game Pass that has all these services that's built in, and you have this little device that you swap out every 2 years on the side of your television, opposed to the larger device. So maybe the larger device doesn't change, but that swap out little Roku type of stick thing that folks in, you know, USB wise, I think that's a valuable option, and I really believe that they're looking in that area, you know, just because that DM says it, but I really think that's something that can possibly happen with this company, being that Microsoft does so many bold moves forward, like Ethernet ports, hard drives, stuff like that of that nature. So
wasn't that also a rumor a few years back with the Xbox stick, right? Yeah. It was a rumor prior to E3, right? I think 3 years ago or something like that.
Yeah. So I'm not the only wacky person, right? Thank you.
No. But I believe I completely agree with what you're saying. They're just looking beyond the console space, and they're looking at in a very broad way. And I think that's the way to go forward. Also with the new generations growing up, where they have their phone or everything that they can play wherever they want. And it's not the generation of us, guys. Yep. It's a completely different generation that has access to their games. So for sure, they foresee that, and the future is bright, I think.
Well, that's what I was saying the other day as well about Xcloud. Obviously, they're not only bringing it out they're bringing it to everything, including PC. Now, the benefit to PC is the fact that you'll no longer need a gaming PC to play games. You can just play it on any PC, anything. It could be an absolute just dead in the water PC with like something from 1995, and it would run it fine.
So you're telling me right now I don't need to upgrade to that 3080. I can keep my 1080 that I got in there
for $15 a month.
Yes, wait for the smart TV app. The smart TV app comes.
Trust me, I do not want that to upgrade. I'm waiting for whatever big nav.
I've seen some major problems coming out of a lot of the 3080s at the minute.
The crashing and stuff like that. Yeah.
I heard about that.
Yeah, I heard they're shipping them. I heard they're shipping it to people in plastic bags with no boxes. Just the wires, duct tape with plastic.
Oh, man.
Savage.
Hey, Drew, is it time to give a shout out to the chat?
Yes, definitely. We've hit. Obviously, it's for our little podcast getting up and running, but it's the biggest we've had with 60 viewers instantaneously. So thank you very much.
Yes.
Awesome, man.
Everybody so far.
That's what's up, brother.
Active chat as well. Everybody having a good time, and King's just got everybody buckled. So,
all hell to the king.
That's gonna be funny because somebody's gonna be telling me I got them buggles for a while.
I think we need to build you a Game of Thrones seat made out of knees.
You know when y'all can start building that. When that PlayStation gets officially delayed on November 10th. You know what? People don't want it. It has to happen.
You like Thanos now. It's inevitable.
It's inevitable.
They already
run from it.
But they already separate the launch, guys, from the US and everything that is going to launch on which date? Mm-hmm. On the 12th? And then Europe is coming later, some regions also. So they already split it up.
19th. It's weird because Europe is a big market for PlayStation.
Yeah.
What's that you got there? What's that? What you got there?
It's a mouse. Oh
my God. So cute. So cute. Yeah, I can't let my dog down here. She sees the statues, and we can't take no nibbles down here. No.
Did you get the DM about the Master Chief statue that was shown off yesterday?
What?
The Halo Infinite Master Chief statue.
No, I didn't see that.
Did you know about that?
No, I got that Doom Slayer statue coming. I pre-ordered that. Yeah, I know it looks really nice. It's this weekend I got to shoot out to Pennsylvania because I have to pick up a couple of statues from a statue guy in my group. So he has a couple of XM statues. So road trip time. Spend a couple of grand on some statues, but that has to happen.
I've just DM'd you on Twitter so you can have a look at it. But yeah, they showed off a Master Chief statue, Halo Infinite Master Chief statue yesterday, and it was only 50 pounds. So it's at $60.
Oh no!
Not your cup of tea. Not yours. I've seen how much you spend on statues.
What I want you to do is you watch my KOS that I have on.
I have. Don't you worry. I have. I know.
Okay. So you saw that Master Chief statue, right? Yeah. That sideshow statue. Yeah. I mean, this is cute. But this is cute. But these high-end statues, this stuff. I already roped Cog in, right? Because his favorite statue, his favorite character is the Silver Surfer, right? So I waited till Sideshow came up with his Silver Surfer, and I sent him the picture, and he was like, "Oh my God, I'm in!" And I said, "Thank you." Like any true drug addict, you want. You
gotta rope your friend in.
That's right. So it ain't fun unless my friends can have some. So let's all get high together. So yes, it is. It is so. We're gonna have such a great KOS. We're going to do a double unboxing together, and it's gonna be fantastic. We're gonna have blooper reels in the background because I'm pretty sure that there's gonna be some funny stuff that's gonna happen. But it's like a child being born. I am so looking forward to this. I'm with smiles. I guess you can see it because it's really inside my soul. Because I can't wait for him to have his first statue from Sideshow, and I hope that addiction really takes hold of him.
He's a savage, but yeah, we're looking forward to it, bro. We're looking forward to it. It's gonna be
Have you managed to pin down any Cyberpunk statues yet, or?
There's one that I want, and Prime One is making it. Right. So the thing with Prime One right now, shipping is like $300. Yeah, thank you. That face right there. All right. So on top of a statue that costs $1,200, $300, it's a little bit much. So we have secondhand like dealers that ship statues once they get to the US, because Prime One is not in the US, and anything overseas, you guys know, shipping it to the Americas, it's a little bit pricey, So a lot of times when y'all deal with XM statues, y'all can get it locally from Singapore. It costs a whole lot less. For me, it's like $400. So I'm waiting for the statue to actually come out, and then once Spec Fiction gets a hold of the statue, then I'm going to get it. But it's the Keanu Reeves statue. And it looks magnificent.
Johnny Silverhand.
Yes. So I really want that statue. I don't really do video game statues too much, but that's the statue that I'm looking for. So yes, sir, I am very interested in that. And I was talking about it like last week on another show. So yeah, I want that.
Would you get a Johnny Silverhand statue if he was holding a TLC?
Hell to the no. Hell no. Listen, at no point in time am I going to support that brand.
Savage. No TCL bomb not liking you right now.
They're gonna catch me and they're gonna grab me up hostage and they're gonna put me in front of a television until I love.
They're gonna make you a sponsor. They realize that you're the market they need to convince. They gotta convince you.
TLC.
Oh yeah. Them TCL dudes, man. They gotta come for you, man. They're coming for you. They don't like the slander.
Listen, anytime you get a Black Friday deal, it's a Black Friday deal, right? It's just say what it is, man. It's a Black Friday deal.
Barber said he got his TCL OLED king. He go convert you. They stepped.
They're not converting me to hell, nothing. The same way that the OLED is over there is a better OLED over there. So I'm not listening to you. Like somebody was in my DMs the other day talking about LG, and I said, yeah, of course I'm going to get the LG, but whatever the one that's in the CES show this year, because I pre-order my televisions. I don't get them when they out on the floor. Hell to ill. I don't want that. I pre-order my television when it comes to the store. I want it to be shipped to my house. I want the new when it comes out. So whatever the LG is, the next level is, I think it's mini OLEDs or whatever the hell, that'll show up and I'll get that. I want something large enough, like, because I got 88 upstairs and 75 down here. So I want at least an 88 upstairs to replace that television. And I'll move this one down.
Did you pre-order any 8K TVs yet?
I think that's what the LG is going for. The next one, I believe that's what they're targeting. They're targeting 8K, and will show because I think the Series X and the PlayStation 5 can do 8K pictures, right? So that's why it's 8K on the box. Right. So technically, they can do 8K pictures. Now, my cell phone can do 8K. It can do 8K video, and it'll kill your battery in a second. And the GoPro that I just picked up it can do 5K 60 frames per second. Shout out to GoPro. We'll be doing that next video next. She-Hulk KOS is coming up today or tomorrow, and next week with Ghost Rider, because I'll just let y'all know I'm going to get that Ghost Rider, and that's going to be shown in 5K on YouTube if YouTube supports it. But 8K television is what I'm shooting for, and a true 8K television, not like the ones this year that's we trying to. I want to perfect that 8K television that's going to hold me for the next 10 years going forward.
Isn't it also important to get 120 frames?
Yeah.
Instead of the 8K, right? I mean.
Yeah, because I think 8K right now is, what is it doing? It's not even. It can't, because there's no source to show it. So they're upgrading. 4K to 8K, and it's only doing it's some weird thing that's going on with it. So there's no source material that's available for us to even test these televisions out at some 8K. So I think true 4K at 120 frames per second is what we should be benchmarking at and looking at. And what you guys with your PC monitors have been doing for years already. Y'all at 240 hertz, right? And we talking about 120. You're like, look at these peasants. Look at them. How dare they? How dare they, these peasants?
How cute.
So, yeah, right. Oh, you finally, it's cute. Welcome. My eyes has been bleeding for years, right? So, but you can see the difference when you. I try to tell people they're not ready for the next generation because of. They keep saying buzzwords like ray tracing and 60 frames per second. You got a smart television that doesn't do 60 frames per second, so why are you worrying about 4K? Upgrade the whole hardware. You know, they're talking about 3D audio and don't have a true sound bar. You know, they got that Sanyo sound bar. Like, no, man, no. You just upgrade your stuff. Worry about this is a true gamer's hardware, right? This is a hobby that costs us a ton of money. Upgrade your space. Look at what's going on because now you got to read the box. Now make sure the back of your box of your console matches the back of your box of your television and the back of the box of the audio equipment. Don't go with the speakers that come in your TV. Cut that out. We're past that part right there, right? There's sound bars like the Bose sound bar that I got now that can actually do 3D audio and stuff like that. That is great for the family. So when you're watching your movies or you're playing your video games, and I thought it was truly important that Microsoft put a 4K Blu-ray disc inside the box. So I was able to get that fidelity out. And when Sony didn't do it, I didn't need to use their box. I was just like, oh, I don't need to use that to watch movies. They're doing regular Blu-rays. Right. It was something that was necessary. And for those who have an Xbox One X, it does 120 frames per second. If your TV allows it, it does it right now. You know, you might not know it, but go to the checkbox and it'll tell you, you know what? I want all you TCL dudes right now to go to your Xbox, right? And go to your display on your settings. And I'm going to tell you what your TV could do, right? So if you see a lot of little X's and a lot of little slashes, that means your TV is hot trash. If you got a lot of check marks, that means your TV is good to go. All right, so check your TV out.
Savage. King, you do realize that a lot of TCL owners are still rocking the 720 Roku ones, right?
Yeah, I know. I know. That's why they saw Spider-Man and was like, I don't see no difference. Nothing at all. It's fantastic. Look at that. It's amazing. Yeah, okay.
$108 at Walmart right now.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
With a PlayStation, they going day and date with a PlayStation coming out with their new TV. One TV in this arm because you know they got the 24-inch television, so they got that here, and they got the big PlayStation that's in the same box. The PlayStation box is bigger than the TV box.
You know, if they can't afford Game Pass at $1, they're rocking those TCLs for sure.
Listen, I told you that if you can't sustain a subscription service. Because you're crying about Microsoft can't sustain that. No, you can't sustain that. That's the problem. You can't sustain that. And you're fearful that the day that you don't pay your bill, like your lights, it goes off. You know how you come home and you're like, oh, shit, the light, I didn't pay. Hey, babe, get your phone up so we can call Nate. I knew I should have paid on Tuesday. I knew I should have. So when they go to play their game and they be like, denied. Aaron Greenberg come out.
Yo, you stupid. I'm done.
Pay your bill. Denied.
That's why they anti-Game Pass.
They're absolutely afraid of that right there.
See what you did, Dutch? It's your fault.
Right, gentlemen, I just have to interrupt you real quick. I have to go. I'm very, very sorry, but it was a blast with you. The lords in the house here, Italian Clowns. It's been my pleasure. Thanks for having me. And I'll be back next week.
Absolutely, brother.
Brilliant.
Pleasure,
Thank
man.
Awesome, man. It was nice meeting you.
Thanks, Archie.
Likewise.
I can't wait to
Awesome.
see the next video.
Bye-bye.
Guten Abend.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, good.
Yes, bro.
Später.
How long have we been
Bye,
going?
Brady.
Oh, we've been going for a while.
We've been going.
Yeah. 2 hours.
Yeah.
2 hours.
2 hours and 12 minutes.
Over.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's
Yeah,
time for a
been-
giveaway.
been a
Don't
good
you
one.
think?
I
Yes.
think it's absolutely time for a giveaway.
Let's
Yes.
go.
So let's do the first announcement. We'll get the Game Pass Ultimate done first. So Broyr, do you want to announce who it is that you've chosen from this very long list of chat?
I'm gonna write it down.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of attendees here that I really like. I truly must say, first of all, amazing chat as well. I love how active you are and getting that positive vibe going here. I love it. Absolutely pleasure having you here. But I'll say this: let Marion go first. I'm gonna write it down, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna show it on the cam in a second.
Brilliant. So Marion, if you'd want to announce the winner of Resident Evil 7 in the chat, and I will put it on screen. You probably get this in about 20 seconds because it has a slight delay.
Stadia, sponsored by Stadia.
The disrespect. The disrespect.
Oh, man.
Need a bit of elevator music in the meantime.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Viking Lord, well done. Congratulations,
Like the
brother.
Lord.
Another
Yes.
Lord.
There we
I
go.
like
Congrats,
that name.
Viking
I like
Lord.
that name.
Cheers.
Let's see
You
if
get
you
to
can
be
make
afraid like me.
Congrats, Viking Lord.
Oh, did you ever
The
see
other one,
Oh, what's
it's
that
a
one?
card.
Mhm.
Some of them, some people will know this card, but
Yes, it's a nice one.
coming
Eh? It's
here,
like a
there's
credit
coming
card holder,
there.
man.
Is it readable? There you go.
Pong Sol, is that?
Pong Soul.
Pong So.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
oh,
I think
Let's
he just hit
go.
me on
There you
Twitter.
go.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Long Soul. Yep. On Twitter. Salute.
Well done,
12
Pong
months of Game Pass Ultimate, guys.
Exactly.
Yo,
Did anyone-
clowns, you are crazy.
Mhm.
He just-
Wait, what are
I just looked at the is that you sent me the DM on Twitter.
Oh yeah, the Spider-Man one, right?
Yeah, that's it's spooky, man.
So Pong, tell me, what's the first game that you're gonna download now on Game Pass?
Yeah,
What you
that'd be a
getting,
good
Pop?
one.
It's gonna be a 20-second delay.
Oh,
This is the thing every time, isn't it? This is the only thing.
It's got to be Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doom.
I'm expecting that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did anyone ever see the Colt
Drew,
Eastwood
check
stream
this out.
for Resident Evil?
No, I haven't seen it. What the code do?
He screamed like proper. Woo!
Yeah.
That's what that game do, man.
I'm gonna tell you right now, that game is scary as hell. I don't care what nobody says. Mm-mm.
That's like crazy.
I don't play by myself. I don't care what you say.
I got nothing to prove.
I don't have nothing to prove, man. Like, like if it was like some real like monsters, like okay, man. But no, man. These are hillbillies that can really capture you. Now, I grew up watching Leatherface and all that other stuff, and that's some true
Hills
stuff.
Have
And they told me it was right. It was The Hills Have Eyes, right, right. This is based on true life stuff. Come on, man. No. That's
Good.
truly scary stuff, man. No.
I can tell you some true stories, man. In this rural part of Florida, there are real hillbillies just like that live around orange groves. It's really creepy stuff.
Thank you for telling me exactly where not to move to.
The orange groves. Stay away from them. It's like Children of the Corn, but hillbillies.
Oh, there you go.
And then I got a true story for you, King. When my dad was young, he was probably about maybe 19, 20. He took a trip to Florida with he had to get out of New York City for a little bit, and he got stopped in Georgia, and nobody heard from my dad for 2 weeks. He was thrown in an underground jail in Georgia, and he had to bribe the judge to get out.
What? Wow.
Yeah, it really happens. Yep.
Wow.
That's
You had to bribe
crazy.
the judge? No.
But King, you're always welcome to hang out with me in Florida.
You always want to have to. That's a perfect setup.
Listen,
Despite that, you're still
I
welcome
told
to hang
you
out.
I'm going to move to any state that I can open carry. Okay. Now, if you ever read a story that said man goes out and gunfight, That lets you know they was trying to capture me, and I just was not trying to be captured. So no, it has to be an open carry state, and I will have as many guns as it's going to take for you to get me. So no. Trust me. I'm so happy that they went away from the model that they were doing, like when they were doing the T-virus and stuff. That stuff got really, kind of wacky, and then there's some weirdo stuff. When I first got a hold of this Resident Evil, because I said, yo, it'll be crazy in VR. This PlayStation VR, I'm going to use that. PlayStation VR is so much fun if you never use it. And I put it on my head, and I took it off really quickly. And then I looked up in there, and I was like, oh, snap. This is different from all the other games. I said, Capcom on they dizzle. Right? So I walked down the hallway. And then I heard something because that has the 3D sounds like boom. I was like, the fuck this. Yo, it's the sensory. I even thought I smelled something when I opened the pot.
The pot, yeah.
Yeah, I opened the pot. I was like, oh. And your brain starts playing tricks on you with this game. So I do it right now in the dead of day. Play it so it can be out of my brain. I watch a lot of YouTube to get it out of my brain. Listen, I'm a big dude. I'm 6'3", 265 pounds. I'm not afraid of anything. I could fight to death, but this game is serious.
Sets its security system before he starts playing just to make sure he's safe.
Serious game.
I gotta say something about that Resident Evil too, man. Like I was playing that, and I had to turn it off after a little bit because of all that like hillbilly kind of stuff in it. And King, I'm not like your height or nothing. I'm a 5'6" little Joe Pesci kind of like crazy Italian guy. And I played some Resident Evil. I shut the thing off. I started looking at my neighbors across the street. I'm like, what is Billy Bob up to today? What's that over there? Who's got the pet alligators? What's going on?
You see a girl running through the woods at night in a red white dress. Help! What the hell? No. Or knocking on your door late at night. Please, I need sanctuary. No, you do not. Not need sanctuary here, madam.
Not here.
Not here.
I think King suffers from hillbillyitis.
Boy.
It's real. Trust me, it's real.
So what are the next acquisitions you think Microsoft is going to do? Because it's something different. See, people laughed Phil off when Phil was like, oh, we're in the market for purchasing, companies. All right. Okay, cool. All right. Everybody was teasing, yeah, you in the market. Then when Satya said it, they said, what? I just broke it. And I've been saying,
like it was pointed out the other day. Actually, they were going to spend 40 billion on TikTok. Yeah. So what that cash is just left there. It's just left.
Yeah, because TikTok got sold to
some other
Oracle, I think.
Oracle,
right?
Yeah, Oracle. Yeah. Oracle swept in and purchased them because me and Cog was talking in the background, and I thought the TikTok deal was huge, right?
Yeah,
but then it fell through. So you have the Warner Brothers deal, which on the surface for a lot of people thought they thought it made sense because they was like, yeah, we get Batman.
Yeah,
you don't get Batman.
Nope.
You're purchasing talent. All right, you're not purchasing IPs because these IPs are for sale after the fact, right? And I think that was the main sticking point when it comes to that deal. Plus, they had a distribution arm that wasn't appealing to Microsoft at that point in time. All right, so if you're going in and you're spending $4 billion for this company, really you're spending $2 billion over the price because it's things that you have to clear up. I get that part. I understand that. I don't think that was a great purchase when you're looking at the ZeniMax deal, which you purchase IPs, talent, and a distribution arm that was stronger, in my opinion. So it's two companies. Actually, it's three companies that's out there, right? But it's two companies that I think are noteworthy that are Microsoft has a deficiency in. Because I've noticed that they've been plugging holes in the deficient catalog, right? And a large hole that is missing is a fighting hole. Pause. And I think, and platformers. I think Capcom makes the more logical sense.
Capcom be dope.
All right, so being that this was a rule in other countries, anybody that knows if they go to other countries and stuff like that, you have to be a resident in that country in order to purchase land, in order to purchase businesses and stuff like that, right? Now, the biggest part of the ZeniMax deal was Tango. Now, before Tango was purchased to Bethesda, they were already an established entity in their home region, right? Now, once you purchase them, you control said entity. You can, through proxy, purchase another company because you are the parent company of that native entity. Through proxy, you can purchase them. So you can actually have Tango purchase Capcom and give controlling assets and everything over to Microsoft.
I don't know how it's so complicated with other territories. To be honest, I don't even know how it works. and then with the Sega thing, I mean, with Capcom, I would love it. I mean, that would be a. Yeah. Go ahead, bros. I'm sorry.
No. Sorry to interrupt.
No, please.
No, go.
I think you're on. My feeling absolutely there is that if they are going to purchase again, they're going to search in the Japanese market.
Right.
If they want to grow, they already have so many talented studios here in the Western.
Yes.
They need to get some foothold in the Japanese culture, and that's just to have the talent over there. That's the only way to get some foothold on Japanese soil.
Yeah, I agree there, but I also agree that there is a little bit more technicalities behind deals in Japan and China.
Yeah.
Far more difficult to purchase anybody.
Yeah.
Not that it can't be done, but it's a lot more legal loopholes you need to go through.
Yeah.
But I think one of the main areas that they might look into primarily first is probably Polish studios. But also looking into studios like Asobo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Most definitely Asobo. Now, if you not even just Plague Tale Innocence, but the work they've done on Flight Sim is just
fantastic.
Yes.
Just next level.
I think
that
maybe
is
Nod as well.
Yeah.
And then they said that tech is going to be used all across Microsoft Studios that they use for the flight simulator tech.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess the tea leaves is definitely talking about it because when Phil went to Poland, there was rumblings about him purchasing CD Projekt Red. I don't think that acquisition will make any sense in the thought pattern is this, right? If you're going to purchase CD Projekt Red and they're about to release Cyberpunk 2077, you're not going to take the game and just have it on a Microsoft platform and all the research and development and everything that went into putting that game on the PlayStation platform will go up in smoke. So you will have to compensate that. You have to do all of that stuff. And I don't think, and then you have to also reimburse them for lost revenue potential in that space. So how do you quantify that in this period of time, right? So I think that's something that's unquantifiable. So if you was to purchase them, then you will run the risk of having that same game on the competitor's platform and at a larger price tag. And only thing that you would be purchasing is future projects. And being that they took so long to get this project out, their next project would be 7 years or 8 years down the line. I don't think that's a viable option financially going into that business deal. It's more, advantageous to purchase.
There's a bit difference as well with CD Projekt Red is they're a PLC, essentially a PLC company.
Right.
They're on the stock exchange. So if any deal like that was going ahead, you would have prior notification.
Right. And then don't they have that association with the GOG and there's other little layers to it.
GOG.
Yeah.
So it really everybody keeps saying, and I'm like, no, I think it's more or less like a Game Pass type of thing.
Yeah, I think it's a really big working relationship between CDPR and Xbox.
Right.
Really big. I think they'll probably buy not exclusivity, but they'll buy the media rights essentially. They'll just continue to bring it through and we'll put it on Game Pass and things like that.
Yeah, sure.
Definitely.
I think I gotta say that I really think that Sega is prime for buying right now. The stocks are going down a little bit. their net income is less than their operating income, so Microsoft could really get a good deal on them. And then the biggest value of Sega to Microsoft would be Atlas. Atlas would give Microsoft a huge hold in Asia and in Europe. But those JRPGs sell like gangbusters, and if Microsoft can bring the company back to a financial operating income, those things would just, eat up PlayStation's market share, because people get the PS4 and play JRPGs on it all the time. But if Microsoft can do that in that territory, man, it'd be huge.
Well, right now, Microsoft is arguably the largest Western RPG development house in gaming space right now after this purchase. So to purchase Asian market house, I think that's Japanese RPGs. I think that's something to look forward to, and probably like Square Enix. I think Square Enix is up for shots. Could you imagine? Final Fantasy, the remake that thing that they did can't be
Sony
available
shares,
on the
right?
PlayStation. Sony has shares.
Yeah,
give them back.
Purchase them and mail them back. Buy it. Buy it. What's your market cap? 92 million? Our suitcase is worth more than that.
He'll purchase the company and then have them FedEx their money back in the morning. Like, what is this I'm signing for? It's a check for $90 million, and Phil put a picture of his butt. Kiss it.
Square Enix would be actually a hot grab too, because they do a lot of different types of anime games that nobody even thinks of here in the West. Like, they just did Fairy Tail, and that was pretty big for PS4 fans. So if they grab stuff like that, man, that's another thing that would sell over there.
You know what I think would be the major selling point on getting Square Enix across? If you have a look at their actual internal infrastructure, it's an absolute shambles. They would highly benefit from having a company that just lets them get on with things from a creative standpoint. Because if you have a look at the way that they've developed games over the last decade, it's just been a mess, like an absolute mess.
Yeah, something terrible over there. They need a little bit more structure. Kind of like 343. Ooh, no, he didn't. Yes, he did. Listen, I'm able to poke fun at exactly what Microsoft does wrong because I'm not a blinded fanboy at all. And I'm able to, say what Sony does wrong. And I'm talking about it from a fan point of view because I remember sleeping out in the middle of the night trying to get a PlayStation 2 or a PlayStation 3 or whatever. And a lot of people feel that, he's just Microsoft unapologetic. No. I point out when they was doing something wrong and they did stuff wrong in the beginning of the generation and they recovered. And they only recovered because they had somebody that was in charge that had a vision, and he fought his way like hell to get it to fruition. And it started off with removing the power narrative from them, and then it started creeping and crawling, and it got to the point where we are now. So that's how he got that Phil Dominus Maximus Aurelius name. And I feel like Cog told me, he can't be the best CEO until he wins a generation. So what
in position?
Yeah, what he's done is done the best moves out of any one of their CEOs. But Peter Moore won a generation, and to leapfrog Peter Moore, you must win this generation. So by hook or crook,
first one to hit 10 million.
First to 10. I feel like
my only issue with Peter Moore now is he's now CEO of Liverpool FC. And I can't abide by that.
Not anymore.
He said I can't abide by that. You will never walk alone.
I've been a Manchester United fan.
Listen,
it's not cool.
I've been to Liverpool
not cool, Peter.
It was fun. It was fun. I had a good time with it. They was doing the chant. I was like, this is cool.
If he rocks up to Anfield one day with a Liverpool tattoo on him, that's it. I'm done.
Okay. I see what it is, Shomberlon. I see what it is. I see what the line in the sand is drawn. I got you.
All I've got to say is this. Hang on.
Uh-oh.
He about to go get something.
The true hooligan coming up.
Uh-oh, here it is.
He's digging in the crates.
Good.
He's gonna let you know about Peter Moore.
There we go.
Oh,
Oh, there we go. I see it now.
Right.
I see what you're doing.
Donnie van der Beek, Van der Beek, Donnie van der Beek.
Donnie van der Beek. Yeah, did you see that layoff on Matter?
He's good, huh?
Fair enough.
Anyway.
En Van Nistelrooy.
Yeah.
Too funny.
Some quality Dutch shit.
Oh yeah.
Hey guys, I gotta head out, man, because it's already almost midnight over here.
Almost 12 o'clock.
So I'm gonna be wrapping this up.
Yes, I'm enjoying it a lot, but early morning also, man.
I feel you, Forza.
I'm supposed to be getting ready to go to bed. I work late, so.
No, that's fine. We will wrap this. We will wrap this episode up. It's been an absolute blast, and I thank everybody in the chat. That's it's been unbelievable today, and really good fun. Really good fun. After good, massive shout out to our guests, of course, Tim Dog, who isn't here anymore, Boxenberger, who's left early, Italian Clowns. Thank you very much as well, sir, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, man. It's always a blast hanging out, and it was awesome being on the show. I always wanted to be on the show, and you guys rock.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And of course, the Lords themselves who took time out of their day and the half marathon of the day for King David.
You should have saw me driving to get home to be on time, because Kai was like, "Oh, I'll let them know that you're joining progress." I said, "The hell with that! A professional is never late. He's always on time. Move out my way, lady. Move out."
Just dropping suitcases.
Yeah, man. I make sure that I got here on time because, I respect what you guys do. I like what's going on. It's a beautiful thing. And for you guys to stay up as late as, Forza said, it's almost 12 o'clock. I truly appreciate your time and your energy, sir. So thank you so much, guys. And Clowns, that's my guy,
Salute.
Likewise.
Yes, guys.
Thank you, man.
Unbelievable show. If to let you guys go first, if you can let them know what you've got going on, what shows you've got coming up, and of course, I know you've both got a couple of different things each yourselves. You've got several sites, so if you want to let them know where they can find you and what's coming up.
Michael God.
All right, cool. Yeah, you already know Iron Lord Podcast every Sunday is the Lord's Day. Check us out, 11 a.m. Eastern. You know what I'm saying? We'll have a good show lined up, talk about all the latest topics in gaming. Again, lordtogaming.net, man. If you can support us, that'd be great. I think it's this one. Lordtogaming.net, man. Check us out. Some really great riders. A lot of good talent coming out. Shout out to my guy, Rage Virus. He's from lordtogaming.net. Just got a real
it's amazing that. Yeah.
Real job.
Oh, yeah.
Salute to Jazz for poaching. All jokes aside, Jazz told me, he said, man, I really appreciate what lordstogaming.net is doing from a site perspective. And, only being 1 year old, to see that type of progression and giving people opportunity, it means a lot. And then with me personally, I do a Destiny podcast for those who are into Destiny. It's called The Last Word every Friday morning, usually around 9 a.m. Eastern. Me and my brother Ibantis, we will be talking Destiny, everything that's getting ready for the new season and Beyond Light. So if guys now on Game Pass and you're interested in learning about come on over to the campfire, man. Last Word, man. We got some stuff cooking over there. So check us out. That'll be that. And then for me personally, again, Dutch, thank you for inviting me. Long overdue. We got some other stuff cooking, and we'll get some stuff going. And just want to shout out everybody, because obviously my personal life, a lot of stuff is going on. So games and podcasts is a really good distraction from that. Yeah. So thank you guys for having me. I had a lot of fun. And King, I'll give it back to you because I know he got a lot cooking too.
Yeah. Yep. So also Dutch, thank you so much for having me on. I do appreciate everything. KOS. So KOS drops usually midweek. I'm usually around this cadence. Like right now, I'm hunkering down. I probably do 2 or 3 videos. Then I go and I edit and mix it up. So we got She-Hulk from XM Studio that'll be up this week. And then also, I should have been doing the rest of the video today. I'll be doing that tomorrow. But also tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Dolph Castle X. That's DCX open mic. It's the to coin a phrase from Cog, it's the best damn statue podcast in the known universe. Not just because I'm on it, it's because of the cast of characters that is on it. And, you know, we talk high-end statues, and also low-end, and also the displays and stuff like that. So, you know, you get in, we talk entertainment, we talk video games, we talk everything, culture type of things, and we can range from farting while we jogging. We got a lot of that. We got a lot of that on the mix-up. We got a lot of that. To anything that, you know, basically. But, yeah, and then you can catch me on Iron Lord's podcast during this football season. Football, right? Yeah, okay, whatever.
11 a.m. Eastern, bright and early. Football time.
My body is still trying to recover from Saturdays, and this guy has me there bright and early. But soon we can get back to 1 p.m.
Soon as football's over, we can get back to 1 p.m.
Please, get back to normal times.
New Year, sir. New Year. We'll be back. Top of the year.
Catch me on Twitter at King David OTW, where I'm roasting ponies daily.
Oh, yeah. He got a lot of time. And TCL owners, he has a lot of time.
Well, you know, TCL owners, that's plenty, because it's the #1 selling television in America.
Those peasants.
No doubt. Shout out to the whole panel, man. Clowns, all you guys, Forza, Shomberlon, Broyr, Patrick. What's up, man? This was fun. This was a lot of fun. I like what you guys are doing. Real positive in community. Very fun. Keep up the work, man. Sky is the limit. Just stick with it, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
For the energy and
honor to have you both on.
Here. Yeah.
Yes,
absolutely, brother.
Thanks for coming on, man. Really appreciate
I
it.
look forward to jumping on the show in a few weeks' time.
Yes, sir.
Got it cooking. We got it cooking, man. We will do
Yes,
it.
we do.
Got
Yes,
it.
we do. It'll be fun.
Toys
Will
R
be
Us.
fun.
Oh,
Toys
yeah.
R Us.
Clowns, my man Clowns. You already know, bro. As soon as everything get back to normal, and you know how I do my my Destiny pilgrimages and Florida conventions, we gonna link up again, brother. You know how it is. I got a chance to meet Clowns, man. So cool. So got him into some UFC fighting too. He was watching the fights.
You did.
That was cool, man.
Yeah, that exit door, man. You know, I can't get over that exit door, right?
That exit door was crazy.
Don't worry, I'll meet you soon.
Yes.
And then hopefully we can get to Gamescom and we can meet all of you guys.
That's our plan.
Yeah, because we were planning to do that this year, you know, get to Gamescom and really have, because I hear you guys really do it up. So I really want to get up there and taste a real beer. Apparently what I'm drinking is
gotta love Cologne.
Yeah, it's
I want to go to Cologne, bro.
Yeah, I can't wait. All right, guys.
That'd be good. To be fair, we also wanted to jump over to E3, but we'll see what happens with that.
Then that's it.
Oh,
That's
it's
the
on.
plan.
Let us know, man. Let us know. Yeah.
We'll get that sorted. Italian Clowns, brother. Let everybody know where they can find you, what you're up to.
Oh man, everybody can find me at Italian Clowns with a Z all over the internet now. 4 Guys with Quarters is pretty much on everything. I even trying to work a deal with Viacom to get on Pluto TV. So that's still in the works. You can find me on Game Beyond the Box Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Shout out to HR Bomber and Leo who are in the chat. You can find me on 4 Guys with Quarters on Tuesdays at 5. Boomstick and Friends on Monday nights at 8. And 4GQ TV News I started doing with Flamish. And man, let me tell you something. That kid is the Belgian sensation across the nation. If you've never seen that kid, you got to watch that show because he will crack you up. Nice. He will crack you up, man.
Nice.
Yeah, I was speaking to him for a little bit last night. He's a good kid.
He is, absolutely.
Sweet. And we'll go to our regular. Go on. Sir.
One more thing. You know, next time the Lords are at E3, I'm going to swing by your crib when Boom's hanging out with you. I'm going to eat some onions, and King and I are going to have a contest.
Onions?
Yeah, onions do it for me, King.
Oh, you talking about farting?
Yeah.
I fart alone. All right, I drop my luggage when nobody's around.
You have to have a crowd outside of the Iron Lord Castle at E3.
There's absolutely no way I'm farting with another man in the room with me, and we're going to battle with the butts. We're not battling with the butts.
King will give me that TCL box to hang out outside with.
Oh man.
Hot boxing with King. No. No. Not a show.
I'm dead.
Sweet. We'll then bring it back to our regular panel. So, Pache, can you let people know where they can find you and what you're up to, brother?
Yeah, of course. First of all, I want to do a big shout out to Italian Clowns, King David, and Lord Cognito for coming out today. It was a pleasure to meet you. Also awesome to hear your experience, like how you are experiencing all the gaming news and stuff that's coming out. So yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter. That's the social media I post the most things on. It's the same as my name, Petru070, and it's the same as my gamer tag. So, and you can find me also on Twitch, streaming. Also, every time before we go on the podcast, I will stream. So yeah, make sure stop by and watch, man.
Trying to get some chicken dinners on some PUBG before you start.
Man. Get my Series X to play some PUBG, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, 100%.
Love the clips that you're creating lately, watching. Yeah.
Yeah, I just put a video up as well for Pache on the channel with these latest clips.
Great one. Yeah.
For PUBG, so if you haven't seen that, go and watch it. He's got some awesome kills on there. 14 kill win yesterday, so
what?
Doing good.
Boy's a killer. Patch is a killer, man.
He said he don't care about nothing but 4-0.
It's like, no, not happening.
He said he don't care what you did yesterday. 4-0.
Erwin killed me, and I was so annoyed. It was Erwin. I was like, oh, people.
That's the rivalry right there. Shomberlon and Patrick.
Speaking of which, Shomberlon, if you let people know where they can find you and what you're up to, brother.
You can find me across most social media with Shomberlon, dead easy. I'm on Twitch. I normally just try and stream more kind of single player, big stuff like I've just finished Tell Me Why, like I said. I try and do like some of the indie stuff and more things that most people don't stream. But yeah, Twitter, stuff like that, Shomberlon, 4-0. Yeah, that's about it. Other than that, sorry. It's awesome to have the Lords and Clowns on. Lords, you are the gold standard of
Thank you, brother. Wow.
Of podcasts, really. And I love watching you every week.
Thank
you. Who have you got on next? Who have you got on Sunday? Have you got anyone?
Actually, we're still finalizing. But we'll give you the secret probably by like Friday, Saturday. But we're still finalizing, just schedule-wise, yeah.
Oh, cool. Look forward to it. But yeah, that's me.
Sweet. And Erwin, what you got going? What you got cooking up at the moment? And where can people find you?
He said sleep. I got sleep going. It's almost 12 o'clock.
What? Man, I have some internet trouble. I'm lagging like shit.
It's throttling him right now.
So if I'm up, I want to. Holy shit, man.
He's back.
Okay, so I'm back. I'm back.
This is porn hour over there. So they throttling his.
I can't. We was doing so good, and then we just.
Oh man.
Poor Forza.
Dude. Oh man. So first of all, thank you to the star panel, the guest panel. It was really nice having you on, guys. Really nice to meet you. Your enthusiasm, your humor, really appreciate it. Love the farting talks that we had tonight. So appreciate it. People can find me on Twitter as Forza Erwin 84. I added you guys also tonight. So
yes, likewise.
Let's keep in touch. Mm-hmm. Let's keep in touch. On Xbox, it's Forza Erwin as well. And on my PSN, it's Remspoor84.
Which for the Lords, if you want to explain to them what Remspoor means.
Yes, please.
Oh, no.
Wait, you said Rem spawn?
You done open the can of worms now.
Oh, shit.
Double entendre.
Remspoor actually means Skid mark.
Oh, got it. Yes.
There we go again.
Matter of fact, I saw an image of yes.
Exactly.
Yes, I saw. Yes, now it all. I was like, "What is this image with somebody with a skip mark?"
Yes,
There we go.
exactly. So when you drop the luggage, that's what
Yes,
happened.
that's what happened. I got you, Erwin. I see where you're going with it.
Oh man, yeah, it was really funny. A couple of episodes back. Yeah. Cool, but I had a great night, guys. Really appreciate coming on. Really appreciate, and thanks to the chat as well. I never saw it so busy with everybody responding and etc. I hope they enjoyed it. Subscribe, like everything. What you can, do it. It helps us a lot. And see you guys next week.
Sweet. And last but not least, Broyr, if you let everybody know where they can find you and what you've got going on.
Yeah, that's hard after after everything that you've already said there. No, really, thank you for Lord. Thank you for joining. I love the fire that you brought to this podcast, to this episode. I enjoyed talking to you. I love the vision that you have, and then how your thoughts about the industry and the next gens and all the things that are going on. Absolutely pleasure having you here. And as Erwin said as well, I really liked how the chat brought some additional fire and some comments as well. Great episodes. I'm just gonna do some extra playing of Apex, but now with Doom launching, that's gonna be the next thing on my list that I'm gonna be playing.
Yeah, happy Doom Day.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Happy Doom Day, yes. Who did that for you?
Aurelius.
I got him saying it now. Nice.
It'll catch on. We'll get there.
That's it.
What is going
this
on?
Doom up.
Oh,
He's get it in right now. He's
ready.
like, no,
Patch
my
is
stuff
ready.
is downloaded now.
Download it. That's in the queue. Recently added. Yep.
You know what he said, right? He said, all right, turn it off. I got to play my game.
Salute.
Hell yeah.
But I hope everybody had a brilliant night. And again, thank you once more to the Lords. Everyone go and watch the show on Sunday. So that's 11 Central Eastern Time over in the States there. So that makes it, is that 4 p.m. UK GMT?
Yeah, about 4 o'clock, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's 5 a.m. in the morning for me.
Oh, no, morning, afternoon.
PM.
Oh,
on a
PM,
Sunday.
okay.
Yeah. And if anything's to go by from this chat, of course, every week is exactly the same for the Lords. Exactly the same. I know how it goes. I'm always in chat. I can see you.
But
no, thank you again to everybody who turned up today, and very, very big thanks to the clowns and the Lords there for joining. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Thanks for the invite.
Mm-hmm. All right. No problem. So, thank you everybody, and we'll see you again next week.
Cheers, guys.
See you, man.
Bye-bye.